Alright, hello everyone, it's your favorite programming error that has refused to be fixed, CodeErr. Back for another solo stream this time around. Yes, no more guest appearances this time. I am back playing some more Genshin Impact. Because there was a new little story quest that came out with a new character, a character we haven't met yet at all. And today we're gonna get to know them. So without further ado, let me just immediately go into the quests. Story quests, where we will see, boom, unlock. Floral Dead Blood Dew. Before I accept, I'm gonna immediately claim. Alright, accept quest. Navigate. Alright, so we're going back to Sumeru for this, apparently. It is not, in fact, in Fontaine. I don't mind. Back to Sumeru it is. Always nice to be back there. Let us take a look. By the way, the usual first suspects are probably gonna be here a bit later today, because they're helping out a fellow streamer right now who's doing the photography event. That is Amy, if you know her. So yeah, she's doing some stuff, so yeah. Also, hi! Well, imagine that, someone I haven't seen in a bit is instead showing up as the first person chat. Some nice Genshin indeed. Hope you've been well, hope you've been very, very well. Alright, let's get going and see this new story quest and meet this new character. And as far as I'm aware, this is apparently the final story quest before we finally get to Natlan. So, looking forward to that, definitely. Hope you are too. Definitely, definitely. Hope it will remain as such. Would be very sad if it didn't. Ah, there we go. And Neon redeems first after all. Hi, hello.
To spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film.
There you are. Hope you're enjoying the time with Amy. I don't want to interrupt you at all. You go ahead and do the photography stuff. I'm gonna turn up the game a little bit more, by the way. Alright. So we're gonna meet back up with Tighnari first and foremost.
You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus.
Makes sense, though.
If Sanjay does this again, the loss will have to come out of his food expenses.
I'll go talk to him. At this rate, he won't even be able to afford eating cacti for much longer.
I know that my schedule isn't perfect for everyone. Definitely.
Oh, it's you two. It's been a while. What brings you to Port Ormos?
I don't know, a new story quest.
To do, and this place looked pretty lively, so we decided to stop by. But,
also, Coley kind of teased that there would be something around here because
well,
things have gotten
Port
busy.
Ormos is currently organizing a flower exhibition featuring flowers and plants from all over Teyvat, so I came to help out. The exhibition includes flowers from every corner of the world, each with their own unique properties and needs. With that in mind, the curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharuar capable of retaining heat and moisture. Even so, an expert is still required to develop tailored transportation and care plans for each type of flower.
oh, and that expert is you, right?
That is what I just said, Paimon. Stop it.
Not this time, no. I'm just here to help out. The expert in charge is someone else.
And that's how we get to meet our new
Mr.
character, right?
Sanjay! He confused the poisonous bulbs with garlic shoots, and he ate them!
Well, he's dead.
Never mind. Forget about what I said about the food expenses. Apologies, traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got something to take care of.
Yeah,
I'll
got
be
a
back
corpse
in
to
just a
bury.
moment.
Appreciate the
Tighnari's
pats.
busy no matter where he is, huh?
Too many people are careless about what they eat, or too many people don't do as they're told. I'm gonna say this one.
Yeah, seems like it. Some people just need supervision. Well, looks like Tighnari might be busy for a while. Let's take a look around the port in the meantime.
That we shall. Floral Dead Blood Dew. Let's see what we have in store. Flowers, apparently. Obviously.
Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
Flowery.
Huh?
Ah! There she is. There's our new character. You feeling okay? You dying? Is it finally time to consume the emergency food now, before it goes bad?
Paimon's, fine. She's just got a little...
Well, she's dead.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilia's? No wonder.
Well then, care to introduce yourself to us?
It's getting worse. Why?
Should we go find Tainari?
But, the hive I was fine just a moment ago. She didn't even eat anything weird.
Props to the voice actor, by the way.
If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
Are you gonna charge us for it? I don't know anything about you yet. I don't know how you tick.
Incense? Oh, the scent is so nice. Wait!
You can talk normally now.
Whoa, that was fast. Paimon doesn't have to sneeze anymore.
Must have been the incense. Thank you.
Think nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru either.
We
Seeing
are
as
in
we're
fact
both
not.
travelers from abroad, it's only right that we help each other out should the occasion arise.
Oh, so you're here for the flower exhibition too?
Can you stop hiding her face, please? Are we waiting until she introduces herself by
I
name?
suppose that's accurate. Ah, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Emilie, a perfumer from Fontaine.
Hi, Miss Paimon.
Hi,
Thank
Rob.
you so much for your help just now. Oh, and this is...
The Traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from the Steambird. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
Although I didn't expect to run into you in Sumeru. What do you mean by DDLC mechanics? You mean like the poem minigame? No, you want the whole... Yeah, sure. That seems like a very valid mechanic they could add.
What happened back there? Why did Paimon start sneezing all of a sudden?
Have you ever heard of hay fever?
I think so.
To put it simply, when inhaled, certain pollens can trigger abnormal physical reactions.
But Paimon has seen these kinds of flowers before and nothing weird happened then.
Well, probably the
Well,
combination
we're all
then.
different. The factors that can trigger a reaction to certain stimuli vary by person. In isolation, the effects of certain pollens
She is
may seem
describing
mild,
allergies. Yes,
but
Rob.
inhaling various types at once can trigger a more overt reaction. But there's no need to worry. Pollen allergies can be effectively mitigated with the use of medication.
Oh,
So
well,
you're
that's
another healer
good.
then. Gabe! Thanks for the raid. Thank
Traveler.
you.
Paimon, there you are.
How was the rest? How was your stream? I know I was
Is
just
everything
casually
alright?
lurking because
I
I'm just
left in
playing
such a hurry,
the
I forgot
quest
to
now.
warn you about all the pollen in the air.
You played the quest, so what did you think of it? Did you enjoy the quest? Was it fun? What do you think of Emilie? Our new character. Was good? Glad to hear, glad to hear. I hope to enjoy this too. Yeah, Paimon was not having a good time.
Emilie? Ah, what a coincidence. Looks like my worry was misplaced then. The Traveler and Paimon are in good hands.
Emilie's nice.
It was nothing really. We happened to run into
Then
each other
I'm
shortly
happy
after
to
my
get to
arrival,
know her.
and I offered them a bit of help. That's all. I'm more
Again, I
curious
know
as to
nothing
why you thought
about
the
her,
Traveler
basically.
And Paimon were in danger. Allergies are highly unpredictable. If you were concerned the pollen might trigger a reaction, that must mean something similar has happened in the past.
Ah, thanks for giving the shout out there. Alright, something like that, yeah.
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
That was an allergic reaction?
The Spirit Borneal she's the one suffering. It makes no sense.
It's not really
It's
something
called a
you
skill
can make sense
issue.
out of, Paimon. There are all kinds of allergies out there, caused by a variety of different factors. Some people are even allergic to almonds. It's not something you can generalize.
Hi,
Exactly.
Spin, appreciate
I
the
even
lurk. I know
encountered a
you're
case
busy
in
on
Fontaine
Amy's
where
stream
someone
right
had
now.
An allergic
You
reaction
have
to
fun.
soba noodles their family brought back from Inazuma.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon isn't allergic to anything delicious.
And yeah, makes sense you'd want to play it yourself. You do that. But first you gotta keep hanging out with Amy, because I'm sure she needs all the help with the photo event or whatever else you're gonna be doing. You were just doing the photo event up until I left. I assume you're gonna keep doing that. Are you a doctor, Emilie?
In a manner of speaking, although you could say the patients I deal with are rather unusual.
In addition to medicine, Emilie is also very knowledgeable about botany. She's taught me a lot about the native flora around Fontaine.
That's so.
And that's where my expertise ends, I'm afraid. When it comes to breadth of knowledge, Tighnari certainly comes out on top.
A flower expert? Oh, Paimon's got it! You must be the expert Tighnari mentioned, the one in charge of the exhibition!
So it would seem.
Wrong again, I'm afraid.
Then who
Well,
is?
I did come for the exhibition, but only to inquire about the Auguste variety.
Then who is in
I'm
charge?
not involved in any official capacity.
Did you leave Collie in charge or something?
Sure she got it right this time.
Yeah, Auguste variety. What's that?
It's a kind of flower that was once popular in Fontaine. The perfume made from it also bears the same name, Auguste.
Auguste, huh? That's not a name you hear often nowadays.
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sacred or noble. It's sometimes used as a name for people as well. Ah, that reminds me. Are you familiar with the historical event in Fontaine known as Perfume Mania?
No. Assume I have no knowledge of any historical events that I didn't personally partake in.
Perfume Mania was an event that occurred in Fontaine nearly 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
It all started when several merchants
Auguste.
released their own lines of high-end
Amogus.
expensive perfumes, marketing them
Amogus,
as must-have luxury products, the very symbol of elegance itself. No one anticipated the absolute frenzy this would create on the market, causing the price of perfumes to skyrocket. The demand was twofold. What some saw as a status symbol, most saw as a money-making opportunity. You could take advantage of the soaring price by hoarding them and reselling at even higher margins.
Yeah.
The value of these products
That's how
became
that stuff
so
works.
inflated. Regular
If there's
bottles
limited
of perfume
supply.
were even going for hundreds of thousands of mora. This resulted in countless disputes and scams. But at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. The market value greatly exceeded the intrinsic worth of the product, creating an economic bubble that was never going to last. Luckily, the Palais Mermonia recognized the danger and intervened before the craze could truly spread. Many profiteers and scammers were thrown in jail as a result. In the end, only a few wealthy families were affected when the bubble popped.
So why bring this up now? Is it just so we know a little bit more about the world's backstory, or is it gonna have some kind of, which would make sense again if they're bringing it up here, some kind of connection to what's gonna be happening in this quest? Of course you would cast it as a spell. That's good. It really could have been a lot worse.
What does all this have to do with that Auguste you mentioned earlier?
Well, during the craze, the most popular perfume was none other than Auguste. The demand far exceeded the
And let me
supply,
guess, the reason
to
why
the
we
point
haven't
where it
seen
once
any
sold
of
for
those
10
flowers is
million
because
mora
they
a
were
bottle.
all used up and are now basically...
Then what about
There's
now?
basically none left of that flower type. Because every flower that was ever seen was just immediately, I gotta take this, I gotta use this for perfume. Calm down, Paimon.
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal price. Auguste was the only exception. Its namesake, the flower used to create it, was
Yeah,
extinct.
there it is.
As a result, no new bottles of Auguste have been made, and the value of the perfume remains exceedingly high.
Flower went extinct? Probably because so many people wanted to make perfume out of it.
Indeed. The Auguste flower was not a natural variety, you see. It was specially cultivated for use in perfume making. When the bubble popped, all the flower beds used for its cultivation were destroyed in a fire. The variety has never been seen since.
Damn, that seems very malicious.
Did you say you came to the exhibition to look for it?
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor that the Auguste flower has reappeared in Sumeru. It's causing quite the stir in the Fontaine perfume market.
One can imagine.
Traveler, we should help Emilie look for it.
It's just a rumor, Paimon. But even so, it could be valuable.
I have to agree. Emilie wrote me to ask if I could look into the rumor, but the forest rangers haven't received any reports of new plant species recently.
Even if I can locate the flower, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed, Paimon.
Damn.
I don't have any grand moral
Damn.
endeavors planned.
Love the Port Ormo's music. I agree.
Divine, noble,
Genshin has a lot of great
one-of-a-kind,
music, and yes,
all
Port
beautiful
Ormos is
sentiments, to be
definitely
sure,
up there.
But to
Far
me,
up
they
there.
overshadow the very essence of the product. When it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price and the prestige and focus on the beauty of the fragrance itself.
Wow, so noble.
Of course,
So what are you gonna
there's
do if you
also a
find
more
the flower?
practical reason. In recent years, low-grade counterfeit versions of Auguste have been popping up on the Fontaine perfume market. Every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Auguste, and the rumor mill will start comparing the counterfeits to my own work.
Your own
Okay,
work, you
that's
say?
more like the reason Paimon had in mind.
Ever since that rumor started, 3 new perfumes claiming to be made from the Auguste flower have appeared on the market. If I can dispel the fanaticism surrounding Auguste, even just by proving the rumor to be false, Fontaine's perfume market can finally start to get back to normal. Then
And if it
I'll be
doesn't?
free from all the stories and added meaning and just focus on making what I like.
That makes sense.
So it's a quest to search for this flower. Either way, even if it's not for the Mora, we could still help you out.
Oh, I would of course be grateful for your help, but I wouldn't want to trouble you.
Get started on it.
Well,
I'm curious, Rob, if you do end up finishing a full DDLC mod, I'll most certainly play it. Hey, if you ever want someone to proofread for you as well,
I suppose
let
you're
me
right.
play the mod first.
Then
I'll
you have
stream
my
it.
thanks.
And every time I find a
Based on the
mistake, I'll point it
information I
out
have
to
so
you, and then you
far,
can make a
it's
public
unclear if
release
the rumor is
afterwards.
Mr.
Genius.
Edgar also thinks it's too early to say, but you could always go talk to him. He
And
was there
I get
those
all the
years ago,
attention
after
for
all.
playing it.
Maybe he'll know something.
Huh, I was just about to pay him a visit at the hotel.
No, but seriously, I hope that that works out for you with making the DDLC mod.
The person you've been trying to guess this whole time. The flower expert in charge of the exhibition. He's also the most respected and experienced perfumer in the area.
Huh,
Back
is
when
that
he was still
so?
working in Fontaine, Auguste was his creation.
I should also mention, he was my teacher, the one who taught me the basics of perfumery when I apprenticed in Sumeru.
So this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came to Sumeru to teach people from Fontaine? It sounds confusing.
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk
Oh,
more
I'm
about it when we
definitely
see him.
teleporting.
He should be staying near the hotel.
I'm definitely teleporting. I am not climbing up there or finding the stairs or anything. This is way easier. Alright, I'm here.
Oh, look at all the flowers!
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and surrounding buildings. They're being used as temporary storage
Impacting
facilities
shins in these
and lodging for
generations. We
exhibition
sure are,
personnel.
Viking. Hello. Hope you are well. Seems a bit excessive.
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that Mora back?
Seems like they might have Mora to burn. I certainly do. Good. Glad to hear that.
It's been so long, I almost didn't recognize you, Edgar.
Well, you and your brother haven't changed a bit.
Oh, yeah, all this catching up is nice and all, but let's get down to business. We need to talk about Kyria. Is he...
Dead.
Hold on, we have guests.
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emilie? Is that you? Oh, it's been years. Look at you. You're all grown up. I've heard you've become quite
Add
the
more
famous
choices.
perfumer in Fontaine.
That matters
It
slightly.
would seem the student has
Alright,
surpassed
pretty
the
chill.
master.
A good start.
It's all thanks to your mentorship.
Ah, hardly. I taught you the basics. Hearing you call me master, well, I'm not sure I'm deserving of that title. I've taught many students here in Sumeru over the years, but I've yet to see one turn out quite as accomplished as you. You're the only one who can take credit for that success. And who are these two? I don't recall you mentioning them in your letter.
Oh, we just met, you know.
They're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
I did, in fact, very much like it, yes. The suit suits him well. I didn't know I needed Pico in a big old suit, tall Pico in a suit, but I am glad that I got to witness that. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Edgar.
Emilie's friends. Well then, the pleasure is all mine.
And these two gentlemen? Are they friends of yours,
Like,
Master?
no shit, yeah.
Of course. We're perfume merchants from Fontaine.
Everyone coming in from Fontaine now, huh?
And
For
this here
this.
is my younger brother, Blaze. Edgar and the two of us are old friends. Isn't that right, gentlemen?
Yes.
Something feels very sus about
Merchant
this.
brothers?
Why are you so
must be here
Why
to
are
look
you
for the
nervously
August
chuckling?
flower, then.
And why did you stop your conversation when we approached?
Well, what respectable perfume merchant hasn't heard of a goose? Anyone in the business would be interested in the rumors.
Yes.
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emilie. We were just about to get into it, so you three might as well join in.
Okay.
I
Sure.
commissioned a few eremites to do some scouting for me. They searched all over Sumeru, but there were no sightings of the August flower. That being said, there are people in Port Ormos who claim to have smelled a unique fragrance on the streets. Definitely floral, but still distinct. Some of them were merchants who lived in
curious.
Fontaine 20 years ago. According to them, the fragrance smelled exactly like the August they remember from back then.
They must have good memory. If they
A
can
one-of-a-kind,
just say it's exactly that
divine and
scent.
noble scent.
Maybe someone around here just happens to have a bottle of August from back then.
No, I don't think so. I doubt that's the case. Even if someone had a bottle that was never opened, the fragrance of the perfume would have changed over time.
I mean, that
Very
makes
few
sense,
perfumes
yeah.
can go decades without a change in scent. Auguste is even more prone to that kind of shift. Only a few bottles still exist in Fontaine, and their scent would have completely degraded by now.
But even with degraded scent, I'm assuming it's still very valuable
Although,
because
could there be a flower
there
out
aren't
with the
many
same
of there aren't
fragrance?
many bottles left.
Or in a
So
core
even
with
if
the
it's
same
not that
base
good, it's still a rare item.
Impossible. If a goose were that easy to replicate, it would never have sold for such a high price all those years ago. The goose flower is back. It has to be.
To the end of a
Technically
month.
speaking,
Yes.
The scent
They
wouldn't
did.
be impossible to imitate.
Well, let's table that question for now. Edgar, did any of those people mention where the scent was coming from?
Or where
No.
they
By the
smelled
time
it.
they realized they had smelled something, the scent was already gone. If I hadn't asked about it, they probably wouldn't have given the experience a second thought.
But where did they experience that smell
Compared to things
generally?
we see and hear, smells can be much easier to overlook.
It almost sounds like someone wearing the Auguste fragrance passed them on the street.
Basically what I would have done. Creative, I know.
Wait, are you saying...
Just thinking out loud. Don't pay me any mind.
We don't have much to go off of right now, but we can't rule out that possibility. I'll send some more people to investigate.
Imagine you're just wearing a new perfume
traveled
and
so
like
far to
a
be
lot
here.
of people are
Why
suddenly
don't you rest in the
investigating
hotel
where that
for a
smell
bit?
came from.
Oud, Blaze, this is the key to your room.
Wouldn't that be something?
Ooh, you've got the keys to the rooms? Do we get free lodging too?
Why? We just arrived.
My apologies. All the rooms in the hotel are accounted for, I'm afraid. Most are being used for storage ahead of the exhibition, you see. I managed to tidy up one of the rooms for these two at the last minute, but by the time Emilie wrote to me, there was no more space left for her to stay.
Oh, and
well, we're used to camping. We're travelers after all.
That means there's definitely no space for us.
I should have been more considerate. Here I am with an entire hotel at my disposal and no place to offer you to stay, even after you made the trip all the way to Sumeru.
Again, we're travelers. We can
worry,
camp
Master.
out.
I can sleep on the boat tonight, or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to collect some plant specimens while I'm here in Sumeru.
I'm familiar with the Sumeru wilderness.
Ah, even better. Although, would it be possible for me to leave some of my luggage here? It would be rather cumbersome to take it camping. It shouldn't take up too much space.
Well, about that.
Seems like Edgar and the others don't want anyone to stay near the hotel. But they're also trying not to arouse suspicion. I'm not just imagining things, am I? They were sus from the very beginning.
Of course, no trouble at all. My brother and I will keep an eye on them for you, as long as you don't mind, mademoiselle.
All right, then. Oud, why don't you take Emilie inside and find a suitable place for her luggage? I'll prepare some refreshments and join you in a bit.
Yes, you are totally not sus. Well, let's go in. Enter the hotel.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Didn't Edgar say he tidied up around here? There's still so many flowers.
I mean, there's a reason they booked an entire hotel for
through the window
this.
earlier, and his house was packed with flowers. Looks like this exhibition is gonna be huge.
Do all perfumers have houses filled with flowers?
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various plants. But to maintain a sharp sense of smell, most perfumers prefer to keep their homes free of strong odors.
So this is very counterproductive then, is what you're
Guess
saying.
Too much to store for the exhibition then.
What's behind this door?
Oh, this room seems to be a connected suite, and my brother will be staying on the other side of the suite. Blaze, while you're out, why don't you bring our luggage over as well?
What? Yes, what he said.
Blaze!
Yes, of course.
He was definitely
All right,
very
then.
present in that
Where can we
moment.
find your luggage, mademoiselle? Blaze will go fetch it for you.
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from Fontaine.
In case you want some,
Could
I
I trouble
assume.
you to bring that back as well? It would be the perfect way to
Yeah.
repay you for your hospitality.
How generous. I should thank you on my brother's behalf. You've stumbled upon his weakness. He's aloof about most things, but alcohol is his one true love.
Ah, yes.
Is that
I
so?
hate his one true love. Amber wine. Now, that's a Fontaine specialty I've never heard of before.
Mr. Oud, Mr. Blaze, thanks for...
Hey! What are you doing?
We should probably head out.
That's Master's voice.
Quick, let's go see what's going on. Let's quickly look around the room a bit more. Oh my god, I can actually enter Blaze's room. Fun. Oh, and I can also exit from here. So I can basically pick which room I exit from. Okay. As you rush out of the hotel, you detect a unique fragrance.
Master!
Hey, Edgar, are you all right?
How unique are we? How unique are we talking?
Who did this?
Kyria. August.
Well, imagine dying over a perfume.
Hey,
Yes.
Edgar? Edgar!
No, don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can...
We'll investigate the area.
Oh, thank you.
Well then, this certainly seems sus.
A strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle?
Only a small amount of liquid is left inside the bottle, and streaks of residue can be seen on both the mouth and the sides of the vessel. It seems like someone forcibly poured out whatever was inside the bottle. I have a feeling the liquid in this bottle is...
Really? You think so?
Mm-hmm. Something is hidden back here, thank you, lovely arrow. Flower beds.
Do you think whoever did this was hiding in the flowers before they attacked Edgar?
It's a possibility. We'll have to look. There are no footprints in the flower beds, and it doesn't look like any of the branches or leaves have been disturbed. I guess that rules out that possibility. Unless the culprit was your size, that would have been pretty difficult.
True.
And if the culprit was your size, then the attack would have been pretty difficult. Doesn't look like there's anything else really suspicious, so let's talk.
I checked. It doesn't look like anyone passed through here.
Oh, but that's impossible. It's not like that kid can just grow some wings and fly away.
That kid?
Oh, the culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit could have just disappeared into thin air.
So you already have someone in mind. Is it this Kyria person they were mentioning earlier? Perhaps?
Well, we looked all over, but the only clue we found was that bottle.
Well, is it Auguste?
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treating Master. Can you help me move him inside?
Absolutely. You and Emilie carefully move Edgar inside. Now he can lay here to die.
How's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose and mouth. Master was most likely forced to ingest a certain liquid. He's still unconscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his airways. We'll have to look into other clues for now.
We found this bottle just now. Did they force him to drink Auguste?
Ah, yes. The scent is the same, but the chemical composition is still unclear.
Or
we'll
a
have to do further
version?
tests to
I don't
determine
know.
if it's the same liquid and how toxic it is to the human body. But first, I do believe
Well,
there
she would
are
have said
two
if it
people
smelled
who
like
can shed
Auguste, I
some
guess.
light on
So
the
it must
situation.
be something else then.
Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucien.
Wait, you know...
Hey!
So you're using
Were you talking
aliases,
to
huh?
us, mademoiselle? I'm afraid
Aliases.
we've never heard of those names before.
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of Auguste. There were 4 people in total. The perfumer, Edgar, the one thrust into the limelight, and 3 others. A researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste flower, and 2 merchant brothers responsible for promoting the product.
How
on the market.
interesting that it's 2 merchant
The
brothers
2
connected to this
capitalized
person.
on the mythos surrounding Auguste. Their actions lured in numerous speculators and profiteers, inflating the price of Auguste even further. In the end, they were sent to the Fortress of Meripede for falsifying their accounts and destabilizing the market. If you do the math, they should be out of prison by now.
And of course, using
what does
new
that have to do with
names.
us? There are countless merchant families in Fontaine. You gonna accuse them of being criminals too?
Every time your brother called you Blaze, it took you several seconds to respond. But when I called you Lucian just now, the name registered immediately.
Ah, Miss Emilie, out of respect for your position as a famous perfumer in Fontaine, I'm inclined to believe that was simply a poor attempt at humor.
But what if it wasn't?
You have a bright future ahead of you. You wouldn't want to develop a reputation as someone who throws around false accusations, especially among merchant circles.
I can throw around some accusations.
You claim to be regular
I'm
perfume
traveling
merchants,
anyway.
And yet, when I brought up amber wine, you took it to be alcohol.
What?
Just as I thought.
Amber wine is a perfume I created several years ago. It wasn't particularly renowned, but I'm certain any
So that's why we
respectable
didn't
perfume
recognize
merchant
it.
in Fontaine would know of it. Unless, until recently, they were living somewhere completely cut off from the perfume world. Somewhere like the Fortress of Meripede, perhaps?
Emilie, you little...
Don't even think about it, buddy. I can use multiple elements at will. And I have a sword, I guess.
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up to criticize you. No matter what happened all those years ago, the court has already passed its judgment. But Master's life is in danger. We need to learn whatever we can about the person who has done this. If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, I would imagine the two of you might also be in danger. So I'd like to trouble you for some information, if I may. Tell me about Kyria.
Who could this person be?
Fine, as you wish.
Sylvain!
Lucian, if this will help us find Kyria, then it will be all worth it. Besides, we've already told most of the stuff to the Maison Orally anyway. You were right, Miss Emilie. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Myself, Lucian, Edgar, and a researcher from Sumeru in charge of flower cultivation.
All right.
Java.
And is this new person
Sometime
connected
down the
to...
road, the Marechaussee Phantom
is
came
Kyria
knocking,
connected to this
saddled
person,
us
perhaps?
with a list of accusations and started looking into our
Maybe
books.
family?
Oh, they did their meddling. And my brother Edgar and I were forced to serve time in the fortress as a result.
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in Sumeru?
Did he
Master
escape?
was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a
Oh,
few years.
okay.
He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could put those events behind him. Still, Master was depressed for a long time after that. He stopped making new perfumes and focused on introducing students to the craft instead.
You can definitely
That's
tell
how I
that
met
these
him.
models weren't
My
supposed to
parents
be
had
viewed from
relocate to
below.
Sumeru for
The
work
way
when
the
I was a
texture's just
child,
cut
so
off there.
I had the chance to study under him for a little while. But we can talk about that some other
From
time.
the legs.
I want to hear more about this researcher, Vijava.
Like us, Vijava was also staring down an investigation from the Marechaussee Phantom.
And
But
what happened to them?
before the Phantom showed up at her door, she set all the flower beds on fire. Along
And
with
that's why
much
the
of
flower went
mora we
extinct.
managed to earn. All the Auguste flowers, everything we worked to create, was reduced to nothing but a pile of ash.
But destroying all that evidence, wouldn't that make things worse for her?
Unless she managed to completely
It didn't
disappear.
matter at that point, because she died in the fire as well.
Oh. Or she faked her death? What if she faked it?
Sounds like you
Did
did
they
an
find a body to
investigation of your
confirm?
own. Why even ask us if you knew all of this already?
So far, Kyria's name still hasn't come up.
The name wasn't mentioned in any of the files I reviewed either. But you two seem quite familiar with him.
So is it family? Family? Maybe her child?
Kyria was Vijava's younger brother.
Younger brother,
He
okay.
was just a
So I was right
clueless
about it
kid
being
back
family.
then. Somewhere in his teens, I think. He helped his sister with her work sometimes, but that was pretty much it. He didn't have any idea what we were doing. Vijava kept him close most of the time. The 3 of us were probably the only ones who even knew she had a brother. After our operation was compromised, he disappeared. There were no signs of him until recently, when people started saying the Auguste flower had reappeared in Sumeru.
And since he was
So
the younger
you
brother
think
of
Kyria
the
took something with him back
specialist,
then?
maybe he was
Something
able to
that allowed
cultivate
him
it
to
again.
reproduce the Auguste
How
flower?
goes it? It's going pretty well, Tormuse.
Vijala
Hello to you as
doted on
well.
the kid like you wouldn't believe. She even told us to give her cut
There's
to her
a new
brother if anything
character
happened to
who
her.
has some new story.
If she left something behind before she
Hooray.
died, believe me, Kyria's the one that has it.
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate the perfume itself.
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was Auguste. Wait, does that mean Auguste is poison?
I mean, you're not supposed to
Poison.
ingest perfume, so...
Of course not. No perfume is meant
Exactly.
to be ingested. Even small amounts can be dangerous, let alone ingesting a whole bottle at once. If Auguste could be considered a poison, we wouldn't have even sold half a bottle back then. Edgar fell unconscious because Kyria forced him to drink perfume. It just happened to be Auguste.
Strange. Sylvan seems nervous all of a sudden. Why did Kyria attack Edgar?
He probably thought we had something to do with his sister's death. But to tell you the truth, I have no idea why she did all that. We're not looking for Kyria because we have it out for him. We just wanted to see how he was doing. And, if possible, work together to bring back Auguste.
And maybe inflate the prices again like back then.
Fraud and market manipulation. It had nothing to do with the product itself.
Yeah, just make sure you don't
As
do the
long
same
as we
thing
keep
again.
things honest this time around, bringing the product back to market would almost be like honoring his sister's memory.
So that's why you never mentioned Kyria during your interrogation?
Yes, exactly. We were just looking out for the kid.
Anyway, that's all we know. If you're looking for information on what's in Auguste, or what to do if you ingest it, there are only two people to ask. Edgar or Kyria himself.
Well, we can't,
Well,
ask Edgar.
at
He's
least
still
we're able to say for
unconscious.
certain that the substance Edgar ingested was in fact Auguste. That gives us a direction for further testing. Well then, I'd say that was a very enlightening discussion.
Well, glad to hear it. Lucian, let's head back to the room and rest a bit. With everything that's happened, there are things that need reconsidering.
Yes, of course.
Alright, so where do we search for this person then? They're still hiding something.
Huh, you think so too? That does seem to be the case. Pity we don't have more evidence. But based on Sylvain's tone of voice just now, I suspect further questioning will only result in more made-up answers.
The way you exposed them like that, just based on a hunch, that was genius!
Are you really just a perfumer who looks after people in your spare time?
Oh, right. Earlier you said you were only sort of a doctor, and that your patients were unusual.
Elaborate.
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients I encounter are already dead.
Oh.
So you're a forensic doctor?
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner. Once the forensic team and the Marechaussee Phantom are done collecting evidence from the scene, I'm in charge of clearing away the final traces my patients leave on the world.
Oh.
In fact,
Well, that
with
is good
just
to
a small
know.
alteration to the formula, the same tincture used as the base of perfume can also be made into a cleaning agent. Basically, there are two sides to forensics. Those who collect evidence to expose the truth, and those who clean up the smells, bloodstains, and other substances left behind at the scene. I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But
I
this
can
time,
imagine.
we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to report back to Tainari and the officers at Port Ormos? We should update them on the situation.
Absolutely, will do.
I'll stay here
Shouldn't
and
be too
continue
hard to
look
find him
after
again,
Master.
because
Now
I can
that we have
navigate.
a sample of Auguste, I'm hoping further analysis won't be too difficult.
Well then, let's get to it. Where are we going? Ah, boy. Off you go, errand boy. I'm on my way. I could use the elevator, or I could just glide on over. Back to the port of Port Ormos. Tanari, you still there? Well, that looks promising.
Whoa, why the rush? Did something happen?
You could say that. You explain everything.
What? Edgar was attacked? He's the most famous perfumer in the region. Someone who's helped countless people around Port Ormos. How could this happen?
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a suspicious individual fleeing through the bazaar?
No, but we've got eyes all over the area. I'm sure someone's seen Kirya. I'll start gathering my forces. We won't let him get away.
Alright, that's good. Inform the police force, as you should.
What about you, Tainari? Do you have a plan?
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene, and I doubt Emilie needs my help looking after Mr. Edgar.
But she said she's not a real doctor.
Close enough.
Then she was far too modest. She may not be a doctor by trade, but she has a deeper understanding of human anatomy and pharmacology than most scholars from the Amorta Darshan. Not to mention the fact that Mr. Edgar's condition is related to perfume. Emilie is certainly in the best position to help him.
Plus, she's
As
there
for me,
anyway.
I'll head to the academia and see what I can learn about Vijava and Kirya.
Alright.
Oh, that's right. Vijava was supposed to be a scholar from Sumeru. Do you recognize the name?
From Emilie's letter, certainly, but that was the first time I'd heard of it. The academia produces a lot of scholars.
Makes sense.
And there are plenty of graduates who choose to pursue a career outside their darshan. I didn't have time to look into it earlier, but now it seems like Vijava's past could be critical to getting to the bottom of what happened to Mr. Edgar.
Well then, you best get to it right
I
now.
have friends in Sumeru City that can help me investigate. With any luck, we'll have news to share by tomorrow. I'll leave you and Emilie to watch over things here in Port Ormos.
Well then, where are we going? We are waiting? Why? Why would you make me wait until 7? That is horrible. I don't want to wait until 7 AM. Well, it's now 7 AM.
Well, it's been a day. Wonder if Tainari's discovered anything. But things weren't looking good with Emilie's master yesterday. We should check on things at the hotel first.
Yep, I'm going there right now. As soon as you finish speaking, I can teleport up there. There we go. Alright. What's up? Is he alive? Is he dead? Did he clean up?
Emilie!
How's Edgar?
No longer in critical condition, thankfully. He's still very weak, but with a bit more rest, he should regain consciousness soon. My chemical analysis of Auguste also went smoothly, although it certainly raised some questions.
Questions? Such as?
I was able to identify the components that give the substance its fragrance, but I also noticed an abnormal trace of elemental energy in the sample.
What kind of
Elemental
elemental
energy?
energy? Would that have an effect on the body?
Hard to say. It was such a minute amount, proportionally speaking, like mixing a single drop of perfume into the ocean. I had to use one of the newest tests developed in recent years to even detect the traces present in the sample. Unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy, I doubt it would have any effect, even if you use the product.
But
every
if
day
it does
for
have
10
elemental
years.
energy, then we can
As for whether
use that
Master's
to
condition
track
was
it.
caused by the elemental
because we
energy
have
present
elemental
in the
sight.
sample or some other component of the perfume, It's still
We have
too early to
elemental
say.
sight. We might be able to use
Oh,
that.
never mind, Paimon.
That's
Did
actually
Canary
really
come
good.
and find you?
Really, really good to
Maybe
know.
we could ask him to take a look.
I received a message from him last night, but I haven't heard anything since. The message said he was looking into some information at the academia.
Oh, Paimon thought he might have stopped by to see you first. Excuse me? Is Miss Emilie here?
Kale? You're here?
Oh, perfect! Familiar faces! Traveler, Paimon, you're here too!
Are you running this errand for Tainari? Is that what's going on?
Kale. Ah, of course. Tainari's apprentice. He's mentioned you many times. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. And please, no need for formalities. Emilie is just fine.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you too, Miss, Emilie. Did Tainari send you here, Kale? Yep. Master and the others went through decades worth of records last night, and still haven't had a chance to rest.
But did they find
I'm fast on
anything?
my feet, so it only
in
made
those
sense for me to come and
records?
give you an update. Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, they believe there's no indication that a researcher by the name of Java ever passed through the academia.
Really? Could have been an alias?
Master considered that possibility as well, but the name wasn't the only dead end. Master tried to track down people with
So
a
he
similar
just said
research
he
direction or
went to the
background,
academia but didn't
also
actually
couldn't find
go?
a match. How is that possible?
We're not talking about, we're talking about, her. Maybe her identity as a researcher from Sumeru was a ruse all along.
It's starting to seem very likely. If we want to figure out her true identity, I'm afraid another conversation with those two merchants might be our only...
Hey,
Are they getting attacked now?
Lucian!
That voice, it's...
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Kirio came back, do you?
I don't know.
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel just now, we would have seen them.
Let's go inside and check. What if they were just hiding in the hotel? There's so much stuff stored in here, they could have hidden in here somewhere. Between all the storage stuff. Since room
It's
to enter.
locked.
Huh. We'll try to break it open. The door gives way with a bang and you enter the room.
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Wake up!
Did you kill him? It was you! You're the culprit! Is he going to be okay?
Emilie, my brother, he's gonna be okay, right? He's just unconscious. Like what happened to Edgar.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain. But
Oh damn, we actually have
too
a
late this
we
time.
actually have a dead body on our hands.
No, that's not possible.
Alright. Murder investigation mode activate. This is my specialty. This is my specialty.
Traveler,
Let me get
all
right to it.
Mr. Sylvain has gone through a huge shock. He needs some space to calm down. Could one of you take him
The
next
plot
door?
thickens
It's
indeed.
not good for him to look at his brother's body like this.
Kale, you take him
course.
away. I need to
Leave
investigate.
it to me.
Smite evil. Then he revives. Ah, yes. No, I'll notify the sheriff, but I want to investigate. This is my specialty. I is good at murder
Mr.
mystery.
Let's get you up. Here, take my hand.
I finished playing a murder
Nice
mystery
and
just
slow.
yesterday.
We'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Fine, I guess we'll notify the sheriff and call in the authorities.
Poor guy.
I really could
Like
do
a
this
shell of his
investigation
former
myself, though.
self. He may have made some bad decisions in life, but right now, Paimon can't help but feel sorry for him.
I mean, again, he already
Good person or
served
bad,
his time.
The death of a loved one is equally painful.
Yeah, he already served his time. He paid
All
for
the
his
moments
crimes.
he shared with his brother, every hardship and triumph they endured together, are now memories he has to carry alone.
Maybe that's what Kiria wanted.
If Kyria really was behind this, then what exactly did he do to Lucian?
He said something about
Lucian
traces of
can no
elemental
longer
energy,
speak.
right?
But the traces left behind by his death most certainly can. Traveler, I've got things covered here at the scene. I'll leave you to contact the sheriff.
Fine. But if you miss any clue, I'm telling you, I would have found it. Some time passes and Sheriff Shyam rushes to the scene.
Who would have thought? Yesterday's case is still up in the air, and now this happens. Miss Emilie, I heard you're an experienced forensic doctor. Have you been able to discover anything?
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I just happen to have some relevant knowledge. I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature and rigidity of the body, it appears the time of death was sometime last night. I'd have to do a more thorough
And that's why they
investigation to
shouldn't have
find out
made me
more.
wait.
Then, would you mind helping us investigate? Before he left, Tainari said we could trust your judgment if something like this were to happen.
If something like this were to happen.
Of course, I
Oh?
appreciate your trust.
Did he
Many
predict
of
the
the traces
murder?
left behind at the scene will fade with time, so the sooner we investigate, the better.
We'll help too. We don't
Finally.
know much about dead bodies, but you can leave the
Oh,
other
I know a
clues to
thing or
us.
two about dead bodies. Again, I've played so many games with dead bodies. Between Danganronpa and Master Detective Archives, which were both made by the same people, and me now playtesting another game made by the same people, I know a thing or two. Well, the thing is, however, that new game will not have any murder mystery elements. I assume! Maybe it's gonna have murder mystery after all. I would certainly be pleasantly surprised. Let's look at the flowers. And what a quotable moment that one was, huh? The corners are filled with flowers from different nations. The fragrance is incredibly strong. The incense? The incense slowly rising into the air. It seems familiar somehow. What about the door? This door leads to the hallway. The lock broke when we forced our way in. This door was probably locked last night.
And the windows are shut tight too. Seems like the only way to get in would have been through Sylvain's room.
But his brother was in here, right? They were both... Wait. They weren't sharing the same room, right? They said that they weren't, correct? And there is only one bed in here after all. Exactly, because this leads over to Sylvain's room. So he came in here. Right, okay. So yeah, this would have been the only other way. Because this door was locked. So he came on over through here. Which means the culprit must have also come this way, most likely. Let's check the luggage. I mean, not quite. Again, he could have come through this door over here. Which again leads to Sylvain's room, the brother's room, who in the morning apparently walked over here and found his brother's corpse. The question is, he died sometime last night, but he's not on the bed. So he was was he awake then when the intruder appeared and attacked him? Or was it some kind of toxic mixture that got to him and he was somehow feeling unwell and couldn't sleep and then he all of a sudden just collapsed while pacing in his room? That's also an option. And if it was poison, then if he was poisoned at some point, then the door being locked wouldn't matter, because he could have just been poisoned at some time earlier and the poison just took effect last night. This bag is stuffed with clothes and other daily necessities. It's quite heavy. cabinet. The space inside the cavern is divided into various compartments. It doesn't look like a person could hide in here. That is also probably good to know. Even know the cause of death? Exactly, we don't know the cause of death. We just know that he died sometime last night. It doesn't look like he has too many injuries. Like, there is no blood stain, so we can assume that, you know, no blood stain is visible, and we don't really see any injuries on him, so we can assume there probably was no external force that killed him. Probably. So poison does seem likely. Like, too quickly to seek help or whatever. That is the question. But yeah, again, right now it doesn't look like there was any external trauma, at least none is visible. But that might just be a graphical thing with Genshin. Right.
Well, looks like we've investigated as much as we can. Let's go report back to Emilie and Shiam.
So, have you figured out the cause of death? I would really appreciate that info.
So, did you find anything?
No signs of forced entry. The only way in would have been through Sylvain's room.
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
Show me. There we go. So we should definitely investigate Sylvain's room too, right? Did we check if he locked his door? I mean, we can assume he locked his door. But what if he forgot to lock his door this night? That's also a possibility. And then someone could have snuck through his room while he was sleeping into his brother's room. It's a possibility that we can't quite deny, but, again, we're just gonna assume he did lock the door. Also, we can't quite rule out the fact that he murdered his own brother and is now acting sad. That, ow, is a fair possibility. Hi, Dev, how is it going? Hope you're well, enjoying your break from streaming still.
But entering through the room next door without alerting Sylvain... Wait, you don't think Sylvain could have been the one who...
It's a possibility. I don't quite believe it, but he might be a talented actor. What do I know?
No, his reaction to the loss of his brother seemed genuine. And he doesn't have a motive.
Okay, ow!
Then
You
what
lulled
could
me
have
into a
happened
false
last
sense of
night?
security with the pats, how dare
I know
you?
Sylvain is still in shock, but he's our only available witness. We have to take his statement.
I agree. Also, I've made some new discoveries, so we might as well head next door and go through everything together.
And check out his room to see if there's anything suspicious there. Alright, Sylvain. What's up? You enter Sylvain's room. He looks much calmer.
Mr. Sylvain, I need you to tell me everything you and your brother did since yesterday afternoon. Did you see or hear anything strange?
After Kyria attacked Edgar, my brother and I were incredibly careful.
Apparently not careful enough.
We returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors leading to the hallway. The only door we kept
Head
unlocked
pat.
was the
Ow.
one connecting our rooms. That way, if we heard any commotion
Speaking
coming
of
from
the
the
sandal
other
being
room, we
thrown,
could
huh?
help each other. But I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise. I woke up this morning, opened the door, and
So it must have been...
Lucian
So it must have
was-
been a poison then,
So,
right?
no movement from the room next door. No forced entry via Sylvain's room. No signs of a struggle at the scene. And no external injury on Lucian's body.
Alright, no external injury. Thanks for
What kind
confirming
of
it
cause
now.
of death are we dealing with here?
Eepy.
I did notice
Hi.
a few things about the body.
Explosions. I like.
Lucian's pupils were dilated,
Anyway, hi,
and
Spooky.
his skin was flushed. Very similar
Event
to
now or
Master's
something? It's not even an
symptoms
event.
after
This is
the
a
attack yesterday.
this is a story quest.
There
Part of
weren't
the main
any
game.
traces
This is
of liquid in
permanent.
his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely he was forced to ingest anything. the more
wouldn't it be
plausible
fun if there
explanation
was
is
an
that he
Among Us
inhaled a
event?
substance
I mean, they
without
had a
knowing
prop
it,
hunt
and
event
I'd say that substance was likely a
multiple
goose.
times.
A goose?
So why not an
No,
Among Us
that's not
event?
possible.
I'd play it.
Inhaling a goose won't kill you. And anyway, it would have been for just one night.
Just one night. So you're saying prolonged exposure is dangerous. And we did say something about having elemental affinity, right? Because the elemental traces that were in it. So maybe your brother had just had an affinity for the elements and that's why it was so dangerous to him? Tired from camp, then you should rest. Maybe get some early sleep. So you're saying prolonged exposure is dangerous?
No, that's not what I meant. Emilie, you ran your tests, didn't you? Go on. Tell everyone whether you found any poison.
Traces of
No,
elemental
I
energy
didn't
were
find any
there.
common toxins.
Mentally and physically.
See?
Rest.
A
You
goose
need it.
is harmless. The market response proved that years ago.
She did say no
That
common
may be
ones.
true for most people, but not for everyone.
Oh, you're up and running again. Hello. When did you get up?
Master!
Edgar? You're up and about already?
Huh.
Thanks to Emilie, I'm out of the woods for now.
So it comes down to elemental affinity is what I'm
Sylvain,
assuming you're saying.
No matter how hard you may try to hide it, the truth will always come to light.
Edgar!
Even if we could keep it a secret for another 10 or 20 years, do you think Kyria would just let us be? No, he would never give up. Not if he's doing all of
That's
this
exactly. I'll be
for
concerned.
Yelena.
Concern is for the weak. Yelena?
That's Vijava's real name.
Aha.
Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She was an exiled Fatus from Snezhnaya.
Oh.
Fatus?
The Fatui are
The
dangerous. Very dangerous.
Well,
We should
that
kill them
means
all.
the elemental energy present in a goose was...
Ah, so you've already detected it. Well, Sylvain, looks like there's truly no reason to hide things now.
Oh,
The August flower was created with the mutative and distorting power of a delusion.
Oh.
A delusion?
The
Oh.
Fatui
Oh
delusions.
shit.
I never would have thought a
We haven't
goose
brought
was hiding
delusions
so many
back up in a
secrets.
long time, have we?
Born of a delusion.
Not good.
Auguste contained distorted
Totally
elemental
I mean
energy.
Fatui, yes.
Prolonged
The
exposure
Fatui.
over many years could have a harmful effect on the body.
Alright, I see, Spooky.
that's enough, Edgar. I'll take it from here.
Yeah, nothing good ever
At
happens
first,
when delusions are
Yelena
involved in
wanted
this
to
game.
Keep refining the perfume and the flower. But no one knew how long the perfume mania was going to last back then. It didn't have any effect on ordinary people anyway. Every day we postponed going to market was another day of lost earning potential.
So you decided poisoning people was worth the risk?
Apparently so. How grand.
Listen, it's not like it was good for business. But all that talk about a goose being harmful over time, Yelena was just speculating. The impact was practically negligible. Unless
But
you
not
were particularly
for
sensitive
everyone.
to elemental energy, or had an entire bottle shoved down your throat like Edgar. You could use the product for decades and be completely fine.
I still
It
feel
may
like
be
that
true
should have been
there
on
are
the
no
warning
records
label.
of Auguste poisoning in Fontaine. But even if no one was acutely poisoned, willfully bringing a product to market despite explicit knowledge of its harmful effects is still a serious crime.
Yeah, not even a warning label. How dare you? The divine and noble Auguste originated from a delusion. Huh. Huh.
That explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena and Kiria's involvement
Barely know anything
a
about.
secret all this time.
I mean, we always
despite
gotta
readily
suss out these
confessing to all
people.
your financial crimes.
Plus, Sylvain is a character
Fatui,
that just showed up for this
delusions,
event. We
a
didn't know
goose.
him before
If
this.
the
Not
Marashise
event,
Phantom
this
discovered
quest.
the connection between the three.
I'm so used to saying
there would
event.
have been enough evidence to send you to the Fortress of Meripede for life.
Ha! If I'd known coming to Sumeru would put a target on my back, I would have been more than happy to stay there. At least that way, Lucian would still be alive. All these years without any sign of Kyria, and he pops up out of nowhere the minute my brother and I get out of prison? It couldn't be any clearer who the kid's after.
Yeah.
Auguste was harmless before. The fact that it's killing people all of a sudden must be his doing as well.
No.
So there's bad
He's
blood
just
between
targeting you.
What about Yelena's death? Was that a cover-up too? A way to destroy evidence?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point.
Oh shit.
We took care to disguise the products circulating on the market, and no one was questioning Yelena's fake identity. But if the Marashise Phantom decided to look into the flower beds, it would have been the end. Yelena's ties to the Fatui, the role of the delusion, everything would have been exposed. Before we could even put our plan in motion, Yelena beat us to it. She burned all her flower beds and threw herself into the fire as well.
Would they,
But-
at this point, would they hide
if
the
her
fact
goal
if
was to
they,
destroy
would they hide it if
evidence,
they committed murder?
There would have been no reason to do that to herself.
Are you sure you
Yeah,
didn't murder
she
her?
just burned the flower beds and fled with her brother.
I thought about it for a long time, but it wasn't until just now that I finally understood her reasoning.
Which is?
Everything she did, it was for her brother, Kyria. One of the reasons they defected from the Fatui was the deterioration of Yelena's body due to her excessive use of a delusion.
Of course.
She
Again,
didn't
why
want
do
her
they
brother
even
to
use
follow in
delusions
her
at this
footsteps
point?
after her death. After arriving in Fontaine,
Knowing all the negative
Yelena
effects of them.
continued using the delusion to cultivate the Auguste flower, weakening her body even further. There were times when she couldn't even walk.
So she couldn't flee with her brother because she was afraid of holding him back.
If her true identity was exposed, she and her brother would face pressure from both Snezhnaya and Fontaine. The
Yeah,
Auguste
they'd be
flower and
fucked.
Yelena's own corroded body both bore the mark of a delusion. There would have been no way to avoid suspicion. So, in the end, she burnt it all to ash.
Just hide
including
underground. No,
herself.
why hide underground if you can
With
burn
all the
yourself?
evidence erased, Kyria was free to take the Mora and run.
So the wealth you earned from Auguste, it wasn't destroyed in the fire. Yelena gave it to her brother?
Most likely.
I see an annoying girl running
Before
toward me from
Yelena
the distance,
died, she
waving
said
her
if
arms
anything
in the air
boy.
like
happened
she's
to her,
totally
she was
oblivious
going
to any
leave
attention she might
everything
draw to
her
herself.
brother.
That girl is
We
Sori,
just didn't
my
realize
neighbor and
she
good
meant
friend since
our
we were
cut as
children.
well.
You know, the kind of friend you'd never
Forget
see
how
yourself
loud
making
DTS
today.
is compared
but it
to
just kind
normal.
of works out because you've known each other for so
It is
long.
so much louder
We
here.
used to walk to school together on days like this. But Star,
Definitely louder than the Genshin dialogue. Oh boy. But Star indeed. Always Star.
That's why Lucian and I were searching for Kyria.
She better be
To
sorry.
take back our Mora
Yep.
and the Auguste flower.
It is always
We
sorry.
just didn't realize Kyria was
I will
baiting
never
us the whole
understand why
time.
TTS has so much
It
trouble
was
with her
all a
name.
trap.
But why is Kyria out for revenge anyway? Doesn't he know about Yelena's decision to sacrifice herself?
I don't think he knew his sister was nearing death. Yelena always wore heavy makeup around him to conceal her deteriorating appearance. She kept herself busy with work to keep out of sight. That way her brother wouldn't notice how she
Ever
could
changes, I
barely walk.
will edit the start. Ah,
All
yes,
we
of
need to do is
course.
tell Kyria what really happened, and then he'll give up on his revenge. I'm not so sure. Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find someone to blame. He might think Yelena was forced into using a delusion to cultivate a ghost, or something like that.
So still trying to get revenge even though she did that to
It's
herself
hard to
for
pull
his
yourself out of
sake.
that kind of hatred. Especially when you've been living in that headspace for so many years.
Very true. Even if Yelena's death was her own choice, I wouldn't call myself innocent either.
Edgar, what are you talking about?
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been in such a hurry to capitalize on the perfume mania all those years ago, do you think Yelena would have elected to take those risks? If we hadn't been so blinded by greed, so insistent on increasing the scale of the flower cultivation, do you think Yelena's health would have deteriorated as fast as it did? If we hadn't invited the Marechaussee Phantom to
You probably
our
would have found
doorstep
some other
by
use for the
breaking
delusion.
law at every turn,
Again, delusions are a
Yelena
thing
could
that you
have
should not use in
survived.
this game. Ever.
She knew her limits. She knew her days were numbered. Maybe it was for her brother, but she was in it for the Mora just as much as us. We were just trying to earn a bit of Mora. And what, we deserve to die for that? Target me for being the mastermind, sure. But what about Lucian? He was just following my orders. Lucian's crime. Was it really so extreme that he had to pay for it with his life?
I guess Kyria won't stop until you're all dead.
The only person that can answer that question is a judge.
Fine. I've said my piece anyway. Drag me back to Fontaine to stand trial. I don't care.
I feel like he might be broken after his brother died.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezhnaya, and a crime committed in Port Ormos. What a headache.
So what's gonna happen?
Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends someone to deal with it. I'm guessing we'll have to contact Fontaine as well. In any case, we won't really know anything until tomorrow.
So let me guess, I have to wait again.
With the exhibition, we don't even have space in Port Ormos to detain anyone. Such a headache.
The hotel could suffice. You could station a few officers to keep an eye on Sylvain and myself. Although with Sylvain's mental state and my physical one, I don't think you need to worry about a jailbreak.
Mr. Edgar,
We'll see about
are you
that.
saying
People being murdered,
If
what a
Sylvain
headache,
is
yeah.
to stand trial, then I deserve the same fate. A crime is a crime, accomplice or not. I'd just like to take care of a few things before I go. Say goodbye to my plants and all that. As for Sylvain, I'm sure he also has some goodbyes of his own.
I wonder what he
Would
could
you be
mean by
willing to
that.
grant that request, Sheriff?
Well, all right. I'll talk to the Academia. No matter who you were in Fontaine or what crimes you committed, the man we grew to know in Sumeru proved himself to be a good person. Your request is granted.
You have my thanks.
Oh, there
Sheriff.
we go. We still have to find Kyria, though. Wait until tomorrow. Doesn't that mean something could still happen tonight?
Happen tonight? Oh, you mean the possibility that Kyria might try to finish what he started?
It is a possibility,
All
right?
we know is that he uses a goose to poison people, but we still have no idea how to catch him in the act. If he targets Sylvain or Edgar again, we might not be able to stop him.
That may be true, but what if we can take advantage of his desperation?
Desperation. We set a trap. If we know he's gonna come back, we set a trap.
If we take advantage of this situation and lure him in on purpose, we might finally have the chance to talk to him.
Master, no. That's too dangerous.
So, that's your plan. If Kyria learns we're being taken away tomorrow, his last chance to enact his revenge would be tonight. In other words, you want to use us as bait to capture him.
Capture? Not necessarily. I just want to talk. What?
Well, I
Are you
mean,
afraid of him?
considering he wants to murder you, I feel like,
Afraid?
you know,
This is
just
my only
talking
chance
won't
to
work.
make
You
him
might have
pay
to
for
hold him
what
down
he
a bit.
did. I'm spending the rest of my life in prison anyway. I can't just sit back and let him ride off into the sunset with our fortune. There's no way I'm letting him get away with it. Not after what he did to Lucian.
I mean, yeah, it's fair that he needs to go to
As for
prison
the
too,
danger,
definitely.
Everyone
did
else
commit a
just
murder,
needs
you
to make
know?
preparations in advance to protect us.
And one more attempted
I'll
murder as
admit,
well.
it could work. We just need to spread the word that Edgar and Sylvain are leaving tomorrow. Then I'll station some of my men around the hotel. If we have your assistance as well, our chance of success would be even higher.
I still have some reservations. But if you insist on carrying out this plan, I won't deny you my help.
We can help stand guard.
I'll also keep watch.
Although I think Sylvain and myself should remain alone in our respective rooms. If Kyria noticed another person in the room, he might decide to turn back. And besides, it's possible he's already transformed Auguste into a potent toxic gas.
You mean if he doesn't see a way to get his hands on the two of you, he might get so desperate that he'll just start using Auguste on everybody?
All the more reason why
would
capturing
happen,
him should definitely
everyone's
be a
standing
priority,
guard.
not just talking.
Even the innocent citizens in Port Ormos would all be in danger.
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
Yeah, again, he going to jail. Don't tell him we're just gonna talk to him and let him
You're
go.
still recovering. You need to rest.
This old bag of bones doesn't bounce back like it used to. I suppose I'll just have to leave the rest to you.
All right, we can figure out a plan to keep watch later. Right now, I say we split up. Start
All right, let's
spreading that
split up,
information before
gang.
It's too late.
With Oren's help and the news of Auguste as well as Edgar and Sylvain impending departure begins to spread. Alright. Assumptions about Lucian's alleged plans going into this? Yes, lots of assumptions, but it's the one chance we have to lure him out. Oh well, not Lucian, but
Mr. Edgar's been detained. He's being taken away tomorrow.
What?
because
He's the
Lucian
one who
was
helped
like
craft all
the one
fragrances
who
for our shop.
what was I am bad with
He taught
names
my
too
child
though.
how to make perfume. How could this happen?
Kyria was
hasn't
the
been
name
convicted
of the
yet.
attempt of the
Let's just wait and see
person
what the
trying to
court has
kill
to say.
people.
Oh, everyone on the street is talking about the rumors. No matter where Carrie is hiding, he must have heard them by now. Let's head back to the hotel and take a break.
Kyria is the
We
one
can
who's
see how
trying
the
to
other
commit murder.
preparations are going while we're at it.
But yeah, it's a lot of assumptions, but again, we're trying. We don't have any real other opportunity here. This is the one chance we have to find him, and if we mess this up, then if this doesn't work out, then he's just somewhere out there. And hopefully won't cause any more problems. Half paying attention while doing some sewing. Oh! Alright. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. Hope the sewing goes well, and you're not making any...
Emily!
I hope it's going smoothly.
Sheriff Xian wants
Just-
to talk to you
yeah.
and the Traveler about our plans for the Night Watch.
Thank you, Kale. But first, here. I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you have some?
Oh, that's very kind of you. But I'm okay.
Oh, it's not good to be so tense, especially when we've got a long night ahead of us. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I couldn't help but notice that something seems to be on your mind.
Was it that obvious?
You seem very preoccupied with Kyria's revenge. If there's anything you want to talk about, I'm happy to
Suspiciously
listen.
pushy about that tea. Imagine if Emily's just like, here's a new character. By the way, they're a murderer. Poisoning someone.
Hey, Emily!
Imagine.
Kale? Oh, are we interrupting something? something? No.
But
not
she
at
has
all.
to be fine because she's
This
a
will be
playable
easier to
character
talk
that you
through
can
with you
unlock.
here anyway.
Right?
I've just been
Well, then again,
thinking,
one of the other playable characters is
if
part
Kyria
of the
has the capacity
F2P.
to commit murder while remaining completely undetected,
And we know what
why
the F2P
didn't
are
he
all
target
about.
Sylvain along with Lucien last night? There
Not
was
good.
just a single door separating them. If his intention was to target both brothers, then there was barely anything standing in his way. Don't you think?
Maybe he wanted to
When
emotionally
I accompanied
hurt the
Sylvain
other.
to his room after Lucien died and saw how distraught he was, I suddenly realized.
This was emotional revenge. Thought of how to get rid of bodies. Yeah, true. Alright, this was an emotional revenge, I assume. So he killed the brother that was less responsible, so that the more responsible one would feel the emotional trauma that he would feel the emotional trauma that Kyria felt when his sister died. So that's why. That's why he didn't kill the quote-unquote mastermind of the two brothers. So that he would have to suffer the emotional trauma. And hi, Amy! How's it going? Did you wrap up your stream? Hope everything went smoothly. Hope you finished the photo quest and all of that. Yeah. Hope the stream was a lot of fun with Spinne and Neon helping you out and stuff. Ah, I see. Just lurking. Okay, you're finishing soon. Good. Well, in that case, have fun with the rest of your stream. Hope everything's going very smoothly. Hope the event and everything is fun. I assume you're still doing the event. All stuck at Inazuma. Are you trying to get to Inazuma? I mean, I could easily walk to Inazuma, but I can't exactly help another player get there. Ice bridging across is not easy because, because if you get too close to Inazuma, then you get struck by lightning if you try to ice bridge over there. So, yeah, I feel like that one might be a little bit of a problem for you. Yeah, okay, I see. I would assuming all their other assumptions were true. Yeah, exactly. It was absolutely emotional damage. Walking to Inazuma stream, no running, just walking. True, last time I went to Inazuma, I ran. I should do a walking stream at one point, hahaha. That's fair, that's fair. Again, Inazuma, I mean, if you miss out on one single picture, I feel like that's not that big of a deal. Still would, of course, be better to be able to get there, but maybe another time. Appreciate the lurk.
Maybe Kyria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to experience the pain of losing a loved one before he completed his ultimate revenge.
So did he attack Edgar as a warning then? To scare Sylvain and Lucien?
So he might not even attack again. He might be satisfied with what he did at this point, right?
Based on what we've heard about Kyria, that may very well be the case.
Yeah, he might be satisfied with this
Losing
outcome
his sister
already.
all those years ago.
Still, let's be cautious. Maybe
What
he
has
will
been
come
going
back
through his
after
head?
all.
What has he been
But
forced
we
to
really
endure?
can't be sure.
Whenever I get to thinking like that, I just can't help but wonder. If I were in his place, would I be able to let go of that hatred?
Kale.
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't think like that. Not after everything he's done. But I just can't help it.
There's nothing wrong with the way you're feeling. Empathy is a part of human nature. In all my years of cleaning up crime scenes, I've witnessed countless families mourn their loved ones. Their cries of devastation and anger still echo through my mind, even now. Some of them even try to stop me, begging me not to erase the last remnants of their loved ones. But getting swept up in those emotions will corrupt your judgment.
Yeah, people of the law would
Surround
know a
yourself
little
with
bit
fragrance
about.
for too long, and your sense of smell will become dull. Allow yourself to be consumed by your emotions, and you lose the ability to think rationally. So while you hold on to that sense of empathy, you also need to ask yourself, Do Sylvain and Lucien really deserve to die? How much did they truly know about the Fatui and the delusion? Did they force Yelena to make those decisions?
Again, just got a dragon in front of a
Answering
court
those
of law.
questions requires a lot of time and evidence.
Which is what Fontaine is all
while
about.
A single act
I know
of
we're in
vengeance
Sumeru
can
right
put
now,
those
but still.
answers forever out of our reach. I've witnessed a lot of deaths in Fontaine. When someone dies, a certain amount of information can be inferred from the traces left behind at the scene. But generally speaking, death will just leave most questions unanswered, and the whole picture ever incomplete.
Once you're consumed by hatred, it will become next to impossible to think about things that way. For someone like Kyria, I'm sure right and wrong lost all meaning a long time ago.
You're right. The fact that we can approach these questions from this perspective isn't because we're more rational than them. It's because we're fortunate enough not to have suffered that kind of loss. But that also makes us perfectly positioned to stand on the outside and try to pull them back from the brink before it's too late.
So we just
I
gotta hope
understand
that
Kyria's
he shows
decision,
up
but I
tonight
still
then.
want to stop him. Master, Sylvain, and Kyria. They all deserve to survive.
Huh. The fortunate and the unfortunate.
You listening in from all the way over there?
Emilie, Traveler. Huh? Edgar, you're here too?
Oh, it's you two! Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay for you to be out and about like this?
A little exercise never hurt anyone.
You sure about
Besides,
that?
I don't have much time left in Sumeru. So I'd like to take care of my plants while I still can.
We could do that for you, Master.
No need. I've grown attached to these flowers, and this is my last chance to say goodbye. Come tomorrow. I'll be happy to entrust their care to you. I would imagine Sheriff Sham is here for a more important reason.
The Night Watch.
Yep.
You mentioned earlier that we still need to confirm our plans.
That's right.
It is
I've
already
stationed
evening
some of my men
after
around
all.
the surrounding area, but we still don't have anyone standing guard next to Sylvain's room.
You mean in Lucian's room?
Exactly. After some discussion, we concluded that Sylvain has the highest risk of being attacked next. You're the most skilled fighter here, Traveler.
I got
And
this.
Emilie's expertise is sure to come in handy in a pinch. That's why I want you two stationed next to Sylvain's room. So, are you up for it?
Fine with me. What about you, Emilie?
Sounds perfectly reasonable. I'll be glad to have your help tonight, Traveler.
Guess we're gonna be rooming. That's Edgar's room. Lucian's room. You wait in Lucian's room for quite a long time.
Huh. Not a peep. Has Kyria given up on his revenge?
Just like that? I mean, again, I feel like he might have been satisfied with his revenge already. He got the emotional damage off. He might not want to go for a killing blow specifically. Sometimes, for some people, living with these emotional scars might be even worse. So, you know. Also, it's not like the murder last night was loud or anything. Might be another silent kill if he goes for it. Just like that.
Guess we'll have to keep at it.
The night deepens as the time passes.
Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Sham hasn't issued a warning either. No guarantee that he will try anything, exactly. I guess it's best to do this anyway, just in case he does try anything, and if he doesn't, all the better. Well, I mean, if he doesn't, that means we won't catch him, but it also means that these two people will be able to be escorted back to Fontaine, be tried in front of a court of law, locked up in prison, and they should be safe from him there unless he somehow follows them into prison, in which case he would want to be arrested here or somewhere else. Hasn't issued a warning either.
Perhaps Kyria's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to confess his crimes. No.
Or causing that emotional damage.
All he wanted was for Sylvain to be convicted for his true crimes. He could have tipped off the Marechaussee Phantom years ago.
He already killed Lucian. There's no reason to stop there. Actually, there is reason to stop there. Again. He ended Lucian quickly. Gave his brother Sylvain lasting emotional trauma. He got his revenge. But I guess, sure, there's no reason to stop there, I guess.
There must be something we're missing. Something extremely important.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. How about some tea? That herbal blend from earlier was pretty tasty.
Can't abandon our post. There's nothing here to we can use to make tea.
You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like looking at the flowers. Oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Sure, let's distract ourselves while we're on guard duty, because they don't bloom during the day.
Flowers, glaze lilies, incense. Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Oh?
Wait, what?
I saw a strange flow of fragrance touches the room. Sylvain lies unmoving on the bed, already fully unconscious. He wasn't sleeping, Paimon.
Hey, did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
It was the older of the merchant brothers, right?
He wasn't sleeping.
I think his name was Sylvain. Poor guy was murdered in cold blood.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucian, and now this.
Was he murdered, or
Listen
were
up, everyone.
we there in
This is
just
an
in
active
time?
crime scene. Please, no loitering.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a glimpse of the guy. What is going on?
Do you think it could be the work of an evil spirit? I mean, how do you get away with something like that with so many people watching?
I mean,
keep it moving, everyone.
If you use
no
some
loitering.
toxic substances that will trigger at a certain time, for example, when a certain flower starts blooming at night. It's murder secondhand from X suggests to me that he isn't really dead. Yeah.
I suppose I'm next.
But maybe he is.
You don't know that. Kyria already attacked you once, and you survived. Perhaps he doesn't consider your crime to be worthy of death.
You were the only reason I managed to survive, Emilie. I never did thank you for that.
Or is he actually dead? Were we
Even if I
actually
wasn't
too
there,
late?
Tainari was also in the vicinity. He would have been able to help.
Is that so?
Because the way they're talking here now makes me
suppose
think that he did
I'm a
actually
very
die.
fortunate person, then.
Damn,
I
Paimon,
have
you checking in did
exceptional
nothing.
students,
Oh, he's
caring
sleeping.
friends, and
He's
the
just
respect
sleeping.
of my peers. If it is indeed my time to go, then I'll die without regrets. But Kyria has nothing. Yelena is gone. Now, his enemies are too. It really makes you wonder if there's even a reason to keep on living.
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kyria himself, once we finally catch him.
If we catch him.
Well,
Big if.
I hope it all goes well. Emilie, there's something else I'd like to ask of you. With everything that's happened, holding the exhibition is off
He's part of the
table
Earth.
now.
Ah, yes.
So
That is
many
just how the
flowers were
people here
transported
dress,
here for
I
the show.
suppose.
Some of them thousands of miles away from their homeland.
Classic clothing. Also, hi, Neon.
Can't let them wither away
Again.
with no one to care for them. Whether Kyria gets to me first, or I'm sent back to Fontaine to stand trial, I won't be around to look after them. I know it's a lot to ask, but could I entrust them to your care?
As long as you don't entrust them to my care, any flower that I take care of
Really?
will inevitably die.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Now I truly have nothing to worry about.
Sheriff Sham still has some questions for me, so I've gotta go.
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting. He can be quite impatient.
50-50 on D-Luke. Well, hey, at least she has D-Luke. I still don't have him. One day I'll have a D-Luke. Of course, it's always my fault. Meanwhile, in Sylvain's room, interesting that he just pulled out the perfume there. Is he going to kill himself? Is he going to off himself there?
Plan will go well.
Did he maybe also kill the other two? Was Kyria not even involved?
Worried. Let's go talk to her.
What if Kyria wasn't even involved and Edgar did all this himself? We never saw him when he was attacked out there. He didn't die. He didn't die when he was attacked, supposedly. Yeah, too many assumptions. So he might... And he was there. He was present here the entire time because he rented out this hotel. Oh boy. So there was no Kyria involvement whatsoever in this then, huh? Too many assumptions indeed. Alright, Collie. Also, hi, Derek. Loves his cat.
Didn't run into any trouble.
Thank you for the follow. I hope you say hi to your cat for me. Alright. I'm sure she's prepared to handle anything that might come her way.
Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is gone now too, but I have to admit, I'm not really sure what's
spreading
going
the
on.
information.
After listening to Emilie's
Good.
plan, I started getting
So he might
materials
still be
together and
alive
arranging
after all, and we just
personnel.
might be misinforming the
I
public.
barely had a
alright?
second to spare last
Oh,
night. To be honest, I'm still
I,
not sure how the crime was committed that night.
That sucks. That sucks. I'm sure it was a very nice cat. God damn it, why? Why do pets die? Especially that was unfortunate. Ugh. Like didn't even live out its life, but alright, that really sucks to hear. I'm so sorry for your loss. Man. Kittens are alive? Well, that's something at least. That still sucks though that they lost their mom. Well, I hope you're taking good care of them. In that case, try to say hi to the kittens. Take good care of them for everyone. Give them good old snuggles. least you can do. Man, why is it's a cruel world? It really sucks. One of the reasons why, damn it, if I've been wanting a pet I've been thinking about getting a pet for a long time. There's multiple reasons I haven't yet. One of them being that I want to make sure I can take care of it properly and all of that. Another big reason is I know that I will outlive any pet I get 90% of the time. 99% certain I will outlive any pet I would get. And I'd have to deal with it dying one day. That is another big factor in getting a pet that I have to be emotionally prepared of when I eventually get one. Because I know that is gonna suck. Alright. Let's get back to the game, I guess. It's pretty simple, actually.
The key clue was right in front of us the entire time.
Feel like you've been waiting to say that for a while.
a goose?
It was in the flower. Specifically, a certain flower that only blooms at night. The flowers. Talk. Did anyone pull for Emilie? I haven't pulled for Emilie. I think I will skip her banner, but I am very committed to certain characters. I'm currently thinking of pulling for Hu Tao's weapons or the Staff of Oma, because the Staff of Oma is actually a very good weapon for Zhongli. Supposedly better than Zhongli's signature weapon. Right? People can confirm that. Even if I go for like max refinement, Staff of Oma is still better for Zhongli than Zhongli's actual signature weapon. So yeah, I will probably wait for a Hu Tao rerun at one point and try to see if I can get that weapon up there. Because I am a very, very dedicated Zhongli main. C6? That is a... How much did you invest into that? How much? That could not have been cheap. Fail 50-50. Yeah, failing 50-50s is always annoying, I get that. Alright, the corners are filled with flowers from different nations. The fragrance is incredibly strong. Pulls that I had saved. I need to check how many pulls I have saved up at this point. I also have quite a few pulls on lock. The glaze lily is swaying its petals closed. There's a ring of moisture around the rim of the petals that feels sticky to the touch.
This is it!
I'm gonna check in a second to see how many
Glaze
pulls
lily,
I can
huh?
do.
I think I've heard of it before.
Roughly. Just roughly
flower
look at
from
my
Lille,
primo.
right?
My primos. It's not needed for Zhongli,
Well,
so
did
almost
you
made for
know
HP characters.
it
Okay.
only blooms at night.
So yeah, Zhongli's weapon sucks.
Emilie, you're back!
How did it go?
Exactly as expected.
A flower that only blooms at night. Ah, like the Natlan lotus.
Exactly. Although, the Natlan lotus wouldn't be a good substitute in this scenario. When it's closed, the gaps between the petals are too large. That's why Kyria chose the glaze
'Cause I
lily
was
as his
bored.
mechanism.
I mean, fair.
He
I did
would
a few
start
pulls
by
for Siege
preparing
because
an
I was
Agoose
bored.
sample.
I got a 5-star, but lost the 50-50. Why this doesn't match her? I don't know. I think it works. He took the Auguste and soaked the area around the petals. Dumped it on the outside of the petals. Poured it in the flower pot. Wouldn't they be applied to the inside? Amber 5 stars. Yeah, but I didn't get her anyway. I'll just listen to all of these first of all. Interpret.
There's a sticky substance on the edge of the flower petals. It's one I recognize.
There, they sealed it inside the petals. That's what I needed. Also, you gotta appreciate main character voice lines, which is why I will listen to all of these.
If poured into the flower pot, the liquid would seep into the soil. That might prevent the substance from taking effect.
When the nurse becomes the main DPS. Yes. On the outside of the petals.
If applied to the outside, you would still be able to smell a goose, even in the daytime.
Alright, sealed it inside the petals.
If you stick the petals together with slime condensate, then, in the daytime, the glaze lily would act almost like a hidden container.
Submit conclusion.
That's right. He applied a diluted form of slime condensate to the petals to stick them together and enclosed a sample of Auguste in the center. That way, the Auguste would remain trapped inside during the daytime. unable to seep between the petals and evaporate into the air. This also allowed the culprit to plant the poison well in advance, while his targets remained oblivious.
And who was it who took care of these flowers?
The diluted slime condensate wouldn't be
again,
viscous
all
enough
pointing to
prevent
Edgar.
The petals of the glaze lily from opening at
Edgar
night.
is the one
So
who
by
took care of the
nightfall,
flowers.
The flower would bloom, thereby forcing the target to
And we
inhale
just
the
saw that
Auguste
little
trapped
scene of him
inside.
with the Auguste, so you
And
know.
Kyria could execute his revenge without having to step foot inside the room during
I
the
don't
night.
think Kyria had anything to do
By
with
the
this at
next
all.
morning, the sample of Auguste would have
I don't
nearly
think
fully
Kyria ever
evaporated.
showed up anywhere near
The
here.
glaze lily would have already closed its petals, and any lingering odor would be concealed by the fragrance of the other flowers in the room.
And his mission would be accomplished. It's not Kyria, though.
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of a goose is so toxic, inhaling the minute amount trapped inside a flower is enough to kill a grown man? And how did Edgar even survive ingesting a whole bottle of the stuff?
Haha, you see,
That's
he's the
because
mastermind
Auguste
behind
is just
this.
as dangerous now as it was all those years ago. The level of toxicity has never changed. Only a small subset of people are truly at risk.
Ah, you mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy. So it's just some sort of happy coincidence that Sylvain and Lucien are allergic to the stuff? That can't be right. They were involved in the operation all those years ago. If the stuff gave them a bad reaction, they would have known from the very start.
I wouldn't use the word allergic necessarily. It's more like they're susceptible to its effects. But that distinction isn't important right now. You can think of it this way.
Alright.
It's not that Sylvain and Lucien are innately sensitive to elemental energy, but that Kyria found a way to ensure that they would be.
I like how you put it in quotation marks there. I feel like she also already knows what's up. It's not the primordial sea, but let's listen to this interpret.
In Fontaine, I experienced
could
how
be.
drinking primordial seawater made
But they
me
would
more
have, you know,
attuned to the element
dissolved.
of hydro. But that substance would be hard to get around here.
And that. Combined with something in the incense, possibly. Various essential oils, let's interpret that.
All kinds of essential oils commonly found in alchemical products can temporarily increase elemental affinity. But it would be difficult to force someone to use them without knowing it.
Is this one of those cases where I can combine because incense in the room and various essential oils makes for a good
The
combination?
incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. Thinking back on it, I'm almost certain it was the scent of Spirit Borneal.
Interpret that.
In Sumeru, scholars use Spirit Borneal to aid meditation and stimulate their connection to the Dendro Archon.
Which probably increases their elemental affinity, so let's submit that.
Alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial seawater that caused unrest in Fontaine not too long ago. All of those are substances that can heighten your sensitivity to elemental energy.
And Kyria chose Spirit Borneal.
That's the
Quote
famous
unquote
Aladdin temple
Kyria.
when we first came to Sumeru. Ah, yes. I definitely remember that.
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense indoors, so its presence wouldn't arouse suspicion. The flowers in the room could also serve to mask
Of course,
the
it's my fault. I again
Flowers are pretty
apologize.
important to this plan, huh? The glazed lily is native to Liwa. It would be completely unnatural to have one here in Sumeru if it weren't for the exhibition. What a coincidence.
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
Exhibition, the hotel, it was all meticulously designed trap. And who was it who set this all up? Who was it who booked out the hotel? Who took care of the flowers? Huh? It was Edgar.
No wonder he was willing to pay a small fortune to rent out the hotel. He probably used the mora Yelena left him, don't you think? That money was supposed to set him free. But in the end, it was just a tool for his revenge.
There's a saying among forensic doctors in Fontaine. Every step you take leaves a mark. But up until this point, we haven't been able to detect any trace of Kyria's activities. That's not because he was coming and going undetected, or because he's some kind of evil spirit, but because he's been disguised as someone else this entire time.
Edgar. It's Edgar.
Creating such an intricate mechanism out of a glaze lily. Setting up the spirit Borneal in advance. And arranging for Sylvain and Lucien to stay at the hotel. It all points to one person. The expert in charge of the entire exhibition.
But let's look at this also.
The Mora spent to rent out the hotel. The way the
So we're
Auguste
saying the
flower
two
was
of them are the
cultivated.
same person.
The method used to disguise his appearance. It all points to one person. The boy who inherited Yelena's legacy. Her younger brother.
Associate. Trigger association. The real murderer. Interpret.
Kyria and Edgar are one and the same.
I can also associate you. There we go. That did absolutely nothing now. Submit conclusion.
But Kiryu was only in his teens back then. He wouldn't even be 40 years old by now. Edgar's lived here for so many years. Even if he changed his appearance, going that long without giving anything away, it would be impossible.
Bad news, Sheriff. Mr. Edgar was attacked.
Sure he was. Sure. Totally not a
dark
suicide.
shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. It was giving off a really ominous aura. But before we could even react, the figure up and disappeared like some sort of ghost or something. By the time we got a look inside the room, Mr. Edgar was gone.
He was the figure.
Do you think Kyria kidnapped him?
I need you to think very carefully about this. Are you certain that figure wasn't Edgar himself?
I mean, Mr. Edgar was so frail. I don't see how he could
Facepalm.
move that fast.
It would seem Master decided to tap into an ill-advised source of power.
Such as a delusion.
But that's so dangerous with the condition he's in. It's...
Suicide.
But why? Why would he do that? He's already accomplished his revenge.
No. If his aim was to target everyone who had a hand in Yelena's death,
Then he's also gonna target
he
himself.
left Sylvain alive yesterday. Not out of a desire to see him suffer, but to confirm the truth about why Yelena chose to die.
then there's still one target left.
Ah, boy.
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
Alright,
We
I'm
should
on
hurry
it.
before they're forced to confront each other.
On my way.
Where in the world did he go? Let's ask the merchants nearby.
Merchants? Merchants. Hi.
A ghost! It's a ghost!
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath. Can you tell us what you saw?
I wonder what kind of delusion he's using.
I saw a black shadow. It ran right past me.
That direction, huh?
How could something like that happen in broad daylight?
Kari, because of your sudden plummet, that also would be fair. That happens a lot.
This is terrifying.
No, don't come any closer!
Hello?
If we go any further, we'll be out of Port Ormos. There'll be hardly any witnesses.
It's all right. I can detect a faint whiff of the scent from here. I would say he passed by this location not too long ago.
I mean, yeah, he just ran away.
It's this way. Please, follow me.
Sniff him out. I know you can do it, Emily. Up here. Just a little bit of climbing. Don't hide from me. Oh, it's a
The
domain. How
scent is
fun.
getting stronger. This must be the place.
The secret garden of Auguste. Alright, let's go. We're going in. This feels like we're approaching the climax.
Oh! O's! Are you alright? Were you attacked?
What does it look
No.
like?
No, I'm alright. I was just chasing after that figure, and then all of a sudden, I didn't feel so hot.
Let me take a look.
The air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason, it's hard to breathe.
Oh boy.
This feeling. I've encountered it before.
We should probably not be
Everything
in
looks
here.
alright. It was probably just the stress of the chase, combined with the impact of the environment. A bit of rest would do you some good.
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar is still in there. He taught my sister how to make perfume. He's a good man. I can't just abandon him to die by Curia's hand.
Well, you
Rose, you need to
see
calm down and
about
listen to me.
that.
Edgar is the one we're after. He and Kyria are the same person. But how is that possible? I thought you said Kyria was in his 30s.
Yeah,
Edgar
using a
is
delusion will
70-something.
do that to you.
Changing your appearance to look decades older. That doesn't seem possible.
Unless you use a
That's
delusion.
precisely why he had to resort to extraordinary measures to age himself.
A delusion.
Curia used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower, corroding his body in the process, just like his older sister.
No. He couldn't have.
Sus.
Mr. Edgar has been in
Just
Port
collapsed
Ormos
because of
for
stress.
years.
Uh-huh.
If someone started impersonating him all of a sudden, we would have noticed.
And what if the impersonation started before he ever set foot in
I agree
Sumeru?
with your assessment of her being sus, but from a meta perspective,
I've yet
it does
to
not
confirm
make
it,
sense for her
but
to
I
have any
suspect
real
Curia killed the real
connection.
Edgar Fontaine not long after his release from prison. While Edgar was incarcerated, Curia started making preparations to replace him, including forcefully aging his body, studying perfumery, and planning the real Edgar's
Yeah.
demise. The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire to let go of the past. He even left perfume making in favor of mentoring students. But these decisions were all for a specific purpose: the need to distance himself from anyone who might see through the facade. And Sumeru fit the bill to a T, with no one around to question his identity. All he had to do was grow a beard, don a pair of glasses.
Shouldn't we chase
make a
after
few
him, by the
minor
way?
alterations to his appearance, and everyone would believe he was exactly who he claimed: Edgar, a perfumer from Fontaine. As the years went by, he removed his disguise little by little and continued to refine his skills. It would have been a gradual process, one that ensured no one around him would notice anything unusual.
That explains why Sylvain said he barely recognized Edgar back at the hotel. He aged himself decades beyond his years just so he could accomplish his revenge. Is that even worth it?
Well, if he killed himself in the process anyway because he feels he's partially responsible,
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's
then it
not
doesn't
that
matter
kind of
to
person.
him.
He can't be.
Discord to ban people who are
What
sus.
you really need is to get out
What's
of
going
here
on
and
in the
rest.
Discord now?
No,
I already have a few Discord mods.
I
I
can
guess they
keep
haven't
going.
really been active in a while.
Wait, this environment is
It's
likely
definitely
being
a bot.
influenced by the delusion.
Have
Any
they posted
discomfort,
anything
no matter
so
how slight,
far?
should not be treated lightly. I know how to relieve your symptoms, Mr. Ooze. Please come with me
A
and
spammer
rest.
incursion?
I'm
Alright,
sure Kyria-
1 second.
No, Edgar. Wouldn't want any more innocent people implicated in all this.
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. From our brief exposure to Auguste,
Send me
it
an
would
abs-
seem the
oh,
substance
okay, okay.
has little effect on us.
In that case, I'll do it after this. We aren't mods, yeah. Interrupt your stream, but I got bot in your server too. Alright then. So, what do the bots do other than trying to friend you? Are they trying to send you some kind of link? If so, then yeah, we're definitely banning that person. Slash those people. Might just be someone who's very overly friendly, but if you're 100% sure they're a bot, then absolutely. I'll give you some mod powers after this.
This leads me to believe those blessed with a vision or capable of wielding elemental
Just to be on
power
guard.
are more resistant to the effects of abnormal elemental energy. In other words, this environment doesn't pose as much of a risk to us. Actually, now that I think about it, this stronghold likely has multiple
How do you
points
know
of
that?
entry.
Might be a
If the
different
target
Discord
were to
username from
escape
that
a
Twitch
different point
username.
of entry, that might allow him to evade capture. I hate to trouble you,
But yeah, I
but
don't.
we need people to
I
survey the
imagine you're
perimeter.
probably right. I should trust you. I have faith. I should have faith in you. I'm just a very trusting person. I don't want to accuse people of anything before they give me a solid reason to. You know?
Hear that? We're heading out. There's work to be done. Ooze, head back to Port Ormos and start gathering reinforcements.
Those aren't spam accounts.
Got it.
Okay, fair.
Traveler, Emilie, Paimon, please be careful.
But we're all saying probably here.
For someone whose only purpose in life is revenge.
But yeah, considering they just
there's
showed
no
up and
telling
immediately
what
sent
they'll
out
do when
friend
there's no
requests, that
reason
does
to
seem
move
likely.
forward.
You're right.
Don't worry. This isn't the end. Not for us or for Kyria.
We shouldn't ban people before they do anything,
not
yeah,
going
but
to
if they
let a goose
show
kill
up in the
anyone
Discord all of a
else.
sudden, send
It's
friend
time for
requests
the
to
mythos
everyone, that
to
is very
fade into
sus.
obscurity.
Definitely very sus in that case. Alright, let's see. What? Okay, you're a pole arm user. Okay. Okay. Well then, let's see what you can do.
Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy.
Ah, so you also deploy a turret. Got it.
By royal decree.
No rest for the wicked.
Look! I have 3 people on my team who can deploy turrets, and I can set up this pillar! I can just auto-battle now. Essentially, with the setup. Perfect. Okay, yeah, and she's the one who you said who gets a buff for the burns. Investigate.
I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff.
As you do. Stackable buff. Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Whoa, look at all the Auguste flowers. There's so many of them. I can't believe a single person did all this. Must have taken a lot
Let
of
me
time.
guess. Kiria's gonna
fear
burn
that
this
statement
place
is
down
true,
to the
then you
ground
know,
as well, and throw
Using a
himself into the
delusion comes at
fire,
a cost.
copying his
Not
sister.
just time, but the time you have left to live.
But why would Kyria need this many Auguste flowers? He only needed a few bottles of Auguste to carry out his plan, right?
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only emotion fueling his obsession with Auguste.
What do you mean? Well, connection to his sister, probably?
Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flowers transported to Sumeru to wither away in a foreign land. But Kyria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire life in Sumeru under the guise of someone else. For someone with nowhere to call home, perhaps dying among a bed of Auguste flowers just like his sister is the best homecoming he could ask for.
The question is, well, he burned them, just like his sister. Chest! here. Oh, over there. Hello? Ah, more enemies. Combat. Commence! Alright, so burn is what we want here. Can do. I can burn them, alright. Oh, there's more of them. Hooray.
Jumpy, jumpy, go! Woo! Pew! La, la, la.
Well, that wasn't too hard. Alright, out you get them. Here we go. Ah, there you are. Move. Move. Over this way. Over that way. Nope. This way. Continue. Over.
A plant that
Oh.
destroys seeds. Huh.
So that's what
Quite
that
the
is.
ecological marvel. Let's head back to the place where the seeds first appeared.
Yeah. Got it. Alright, so I have to maneuver around that. Problem is, this thing is not perfectly predictable in its movement. Please go through diagonally. Thank you. I assume that light doesn't do anything at all to me. Of course not.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
Well then. There you are. Wait up there, pal. Kirya.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
Did they catch up that fast?
We did.
No. My strength is just waning.
Use the delusion and kill yourself. Or just collapse.
But it doesn't matter. This is far enough.
Well, that's how it ends. Hooray. Flashback to...
This
yeah.
is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those years ago in Fontaine. Yelena?
Aren't you experiencing a flashback
Yelena!
all of a sudden?
You tried to hide it from me, but I always understood. The reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden on fire, it was all because of me. I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran.
And that's why you're killing yourself now.
By the time I
Hooray.
realized something
Congrats, her
wasn't right,
sacrifice was for nothing.
There was nothing left. The flowers were gone. And so were you. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have come looking for you earlier. I should have died with you that day.
Yes, make her sacrifice mean nothing. That's exactly what she would have wanted.
Yelena? Yelena! No. Don't leave me. Please. Yelena!
Wakey, wakey, we're here. Hello there.
Emilie?
You ain't dying yet, pal.
I'm alive. No, that's not possible. I saw her. Yelena. We were together.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin in your body coupled with the pollen in the air, neither of which are fatal.
No. The amount of August I drank, it should have been enough.
Sorry to say this, but that was a fake.
A fake? But how?
We started making the preparations last night with one goal in mind. To create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis of perfume making, the product in its most primitive form.
Oh boy.
Ambergris mixed with cedar wood, rounded out with a base note of agar wood.
This is
Little
the
Elena.
scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in.
Look at
and
Elena.
fuels their obsessions.
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind. Our competitor already got their hands on it. Hurry, all the way.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed. Miracles can be recreated.
Again, these
All
animation
it takes is
skills.
skill, experience,
There's so much
limitless
detail.
exploration,
There's so
and
much
a little
effort put into
patience.
some of this. That smooth movement there. Nice.
The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emilie?
I got it.
So she found that stuff a bit early already.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
I don't think he is, fool.
Yes,
we tricked you there.
Master.
I think we tricked you on that one.
You switched the bottles of Auguste, and then lied to me about Sylvain's death.
Yup.
Convincing you that your revenge had been completed was the easiest way to get you to let down your guard.
Impossible. Even if you found a way to switch out the bottles, there's no way you could have made an accord. If Auguste was so easy to replicate, Yelena wouldn't have.
It probably wasn't
It was
easy.
a combination of rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those ingredients would have conflicted with each other if you tried to combine them in the past. But recently, we found a way for them to work together.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias.
Auguste was created over 10 years ago. All this time, people never stopped analyzing it, never stopped trying to recreate it.
And now it was
Perfumery
possible.
techniques are advancing day by day. We've found better ways to extract essential oils, separate oils and fats. We even discovered new ways to combine fragrances together. The mythos surrounding Auguste may have been untouchable almost
Stopped
20
after being
years
asked
ago,
for the surface
but
about.
now
Damn.
it's time for it to become a thing of the past.
The past.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that it is possible to make an accord, even if only in theory. But the meaning you assigned to Auguste became so inflated, you allowed yourself to get lost in it. Just like the perfume mania that captivated the public all those years ago.
Alright, we're
You
really
believed in
tearing
its
into him now as well,
divinity
huh?
and grandeur. You believed it was entirely one of a kind.
In the process, you forgot that it was a bottle of perfume, nothing more.
Your obsession with Auguste is also what allowed us to predict how you intended your plan to end, and to make preparations in advance.
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Or that you would activate the delusion. Alright, you're done? There we go.
You hit the nail on the head now, didn't you? So, Sylvain isn't dead. Since you've been preparing your accord since last night, I assume you've also figured out my method, then.
Yup.
That means the news of Sylvain's death. The crowd gathered outside the hotel this morning. It was all
Delusion?
an act you put
All
on
right.
with the sheriff.
So basically, there's this thing called a vision, which is basically the little pendant that a lot of people wear that gives them their elemental abilities. Basically, visions are granted to certain people by the gods, and then they have this little pendant, and they can use powers of that element. A delusion, as Gabe just nicely put it, is a bootleg vision made by the F2P. It basically functions similar to a... It's basically something that they make, and it functions similar to a vision. It does allow you to use elemental powers. The thing is, it basically drains your life away if you use it. But, since it isn't gifted to special people by the gods, anyone can use a delusion, while only certain people have a vision. So, yeah, anyone can use it, unlike with a vision, but very, very heavy consequence for using it. And then there are certain people who are just like, but what if? Like, there is a certain person called Tartaglia, also known as Child, who has a vision. He has a vision, a hydro vision, but he, in addition to his vision, he also uses a delusion. An electro delusion. Which is why Child can use two elements when you fight him as a boss. He uses his vision for his hydro powers and a delusion, if he needs to activate additional electro powers. A combo that, yeah, powerful, but takes a toll on him, which is why he doesn't like using his delusion until he needs to.
Yes. If we hadn't, you might have resorted to the delusion out of desperation, or continued to use your Spirit Borneal and Auguste combination to wreak havoc.
Who knows? Maybe I would have just offed myself then and there.
I know if you had things your way, you would carry the truth of Edgar's demise and the secrets of this garden to the grave, but I'm sorry, Master. I don't want to see any more death. Sylvain only inhaled a small amount of poison. He's being detained as we speak. All the crimes he concealed back then will be exposed in a court of law for everyone to see. And all his secrets will be revealed. The same
Also,
goes
hi,
for you as
Comrade
well.
Lament. How's it
Is
going?
that so?
Welcome to the stream.
Well,
We're
I
just about to
suppose
wrap
I'll
up
be
the story quest, I think.
Spending the rest of my days in a prison cell then.
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
I mean, he was prepared to die, so I guess going to prison isn't that much of
I
a...
don't feel the need
of
to
a
justify
downgrade.
my actions, nor do I intend to repent for them.
Going good?
I
Nice to
did
hear.
what I set out to do.
Pay for resin to...
May have
Yeah.
lost in the end.
I have a bit of resin
But it was
already.
my choice every step of the way. And if I could do it all over again...
Gotta keep wasting that resin for my battle pass.
But there's no going back.
Are you grinding for something specific? Oh, Colley's coming as well. Is it enough to build Yelan? Ah, you're building Yelan. Alright, I see.
Looks like I'm almost
Yeah, two
out
wouldn't
of
be
time.
enough, I can tell you that much.
Although,
I do have one.
Well, I hope you're getting
question,
lucky with the drops.
Of course,
Getting
Master.
getting everything you need as fast as possible.
The combination you used to make your accord. How did you figure it out?
The scent of a goose is complex and varied, yet the main ingredient consists of a single variety of flower. So, as I was analyzing the sample yesterday, I got
Don't
to
want to
thinking,
share hydrogal with
what if
Tartaglia?
the scent
Yeah.
of the auguste flower was
Why would
already
you want to
imbued
share?
with that
It's better
complexity
if you
during
have
its
your
cultivation?
separate loadouts.
You're saying Yelena
So you don't need to
designed
constantly
August
switch stuff
to have
around.
the scent of multiple flowers.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, Cecilias. The perfumers of the past knew that if you combine their essential oils directly, they would just cancel each other out. It was a conundrum they could never solve.
So she just made
But
artificial
if you
flowers.
cultivate a new flower species that intrinsically carries the unique features
Yeah.
of those three scents, you can bypass that issue entirely. It goes without saying that for that time, this idea was a stroke of genius.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those really do seem like flowers you would choose.
My
Yelena.
characters don't share much. Because I really only use one party, although I need to use a second party for the Abyss whenever I do that. But, yeah, I do kind of... I don't really switch stuff around, which is why a lot of my other characters aren't even that good. Not long after that, the Eremites rush over. Kyria accepts his fate without saying a word. Loot! And we're out of here. Thus, all the turmoil caused by the Auguste finally comes to an end. A few weeks later, you receive a letter from Emilie. Alright. Appointment on the second floor.
Did you know? Miss Emily's releasing a new perfume.
Yep.
Right. I heard about that. I think it's called Yelena.
Aww. Naming it after the deceased. How kind of her.
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you're releasing.
I was hoping to release it without such a fuss, but the news spread way faster than I expected. I
Doesn't
just
even
hope
know what
it
the server's
won't become the
about.
source of some new myth, especially after all the work
Yeah.
we did to demystify a goose.
In that case, I feel like said person might deserve to be removed. Who joins the server dedicated to a specific channel and then is like, who? Who? What? When? How? About this perfume, did you use the Accord from back in Sumeru?
I did, although I made a few modifications to the formula to make the scent more pleasant and long-lasting. I actually brought a few samples with me today. I hope they're to your liking. Also, I was hoping you could try out the fragrance before I officially release it and tell me your thoughts.
Of course! A good sense of taste and sense of smell go hand in hand, you know? Just leave it to Paimon!
And less lethal, presumably. Definitely. No delusion used in the making of this, I assume.
Oh, it smells great!
I'm not sure that's the kind of feedback she had in mind.
It's alright. All feedback is worth considering.
Though I probably
Besides,
wouldn't give
when it
any
comes
better
to
feedback
perfume,
either.
Commenting on whether it smells good is the most straightforward assessment
Test it on
you can
Paimon
ask
first
for.
is the most
There doesn't
straightforward
always have to
approach.
be a deeper meaning.
Wouldn't be much of a loss if it was still toxic. Okay, I'm sorry. Speaking of deeper meaning, Kyria's final question.
Right! Do those flowers have some special meaning? Hearing their names seemed to have an effect on him.
Well,
If I had to guess, I'd say it probably has something to do
if
with
it
the
wasn't for
language
the
of
whole burn
flowers.
thing, tragic.
The language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of that before. Paimon remembers hearing something like, the Cecilia represents the true feelings of the prodigal son?
What each flower is said to represent varies by person and across different moments in history. The same is true for the flowers that make up the scent of a goose. After returning to
Not
Fontaine,
so.
I did some research, and it turns out the meanings of those 3 flowers can be reassembled to form a single phrase. Forget the past and keep on living. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena always intended, not the nobility and grandeur most people associate with the Ghost.
Or maybe that's what she hoped for her brother, who is now, who has now thrown away most of his life by using a delusion and is spending the rest of his days in jail.
You think Kiria knew about that?
I don't think so. I mean, after we told him, maybe, but,
I paid him a visit before his trial and explained what I found, but he didn't seem to care.
yeah, it's a bit late to heed that message. A bit late for that.
Maybe she didn't mean anything by it at all. That was his response. Yelena is gone. We'll never know what she was thinking. We can look for meaning all we want, but it'll never be anything but conjecture. Even if that is what she was trying to say, I would never be able to forget her. Avenging her death? That was the meaning I chose for my life. Kiria cultivated his revenge like a flower. He was committed to making it bloom, even if in the end, it didn't bear the fruit he was hoping for.
Kiria.
In any case, he did want me to pass along his thanks. Thank you for saving my life, for giving me the chance to learn that a Ghost could have carried a very different meaning. Love and hatred are a privilege of the living. When someone dies, their thoughts, feelings, and intentions die with them.
Why
In
is there
that
so much
sense, what a
death
goose
in
truly
Genshin?
represents in the language of flowers will forever remain a mystery. But even if it's only a conjecture, I would like to believe my own interpretation. The meaning we give to flowers, the symbolism we assign to our perfumes, they're constantly twisted and exploited in our imperfect world. And yet, at the very outset, they're born from the simplest and most beautiful desires we hold in our heart.
And that's the end. Floral debt, blood dew. Alright. Now, I do want to do something here in Sumeru. Specifically, this, right here. Because there is this event quest might be voice acted, I'm not sure, but I feel like this might be connected to Collei, and since Collei is, an actual, like, Kirara's sub quest was voice acted, so maybe Collei's is too. And there we go, that confirms it, it is not. I just had to confirm this,
Right, Collei did say that Sumeru City had been pretty lively lately, aren't you a little curious?
Not really.
Hey, come on, don't be so cold. Show Paimon your passion. You can just think of it as accompanying Paimon to the party, okay?
Okay, Paimon, I'll be your chaperone. Another time, because, okay, that confirms that this part is not voiced.
Let's go see what's going on.
I couldn't even finish reading that. Thank you for not letting me read that. But alright, that confirms that is not voiced. Well, in that case, I think I'll wrap up a bit early. Or I guess I could talk to Fischl real quick, because I think Fischl's over here. I could see the other characters, but I don't mind wrapping it up a bit early. I've been streaming a lot again recently, so, But Fischl is always worth talking to. Because it's Fischl. Hey Fischl, it's me, Fischl.
Oz, though I customarily refer to you as my familiar, in truth, I have always seen you as...
Say no more, main Fräulein. I, Osvaldo Hrafnavines, hereby pledge to always stay by your side.
Quite rightly so. The Prinzessin should expect no less from her most favored Nachtraben.
Pronunciation as fine as ever. I mean, I guess it wouldn't take too long if you know where I can find all of them. German, but the pronunciation hurts me too. I mean, they're trying, they're trying. Yes, I'm done. Academia. Wait, before, well, you were before teleporting, right. So back up here. I assume that's, Collei, then. But that would continue the quest, and I don't want to do the stupid quest. I'm not here for the quest. Fine, I'll go in. Hello. Just avoiding you. Left, so you mean up here, or go through to the library and then left over here? Like left in the main room or left over here somewhere? I assume you meant left in the main room. And then go up. Should have been here. Apparently that might be something off limits for now. Maybe it is because of the quest. Maybe it is because of the quest that there's nobody here. Also, Amy, thanks for the raid. I'm actually about to wrap up in a second. Just gonna see if I can talk to a few more characters. Hi, raiders! Akicho, hi, hello. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate the raid. Appreciate the raid. How was the rest of your stream? Did you have a lot of fun? I mean, yeah, we can do a raid chain. Absolutely doing a raid chain. I hope you had fun with the rest of your stream. I hope you had a lot of fun. Nilu at her stage, alright. What was the quickest way to get to the stage? Probably from down here? That was fun. Alright, did you do anything else other than the photography event thingy? I assume so. I assume you did a bunch of fun stuff after that. Maybe a little bit of progress in Simulanka? I don't think the characters are here yet. Great. Nobody is here. Nobody is here. Hi, Cake, by the way. Great, but why? Apparently they just don't like being here. And yeah, we tried to check on the Wanderer and he wasn't there either. And before you ask, yes, I did complete all of the Simulanka story. The only thing could be that it might expect me to do some side quests before some of them show up. But side quests are something I can do in my own time. I'm just happy that we were able to talk to Fischl out of all people. Train by 2. You're very welcome. Yeah, there's side quests, I know, but I already checked. This one here is not voice acted, so it's not important. If something... That is my mindset, by the way. If a quest line is not voice acted, it's not important enough for me to stream it. That's how I get progress done off stream. There was one side quest that was voice acted, which was the Carrara one. The Carrara side quest had voice acting, which is why I played it on stream. This other side quest here isn't, and I assume this might be the side quest that locks people away. Gonna be 1,000, ah yes. The murder mystery thingy? The, you mean the one with Emilie that I just played? Because I already did that. That is what this entire stream was dedicated to, finishing that story quest. Because, as you can see, I have completed every single story quest and hangout. There is nothing in here left to do for me. So if there's anything over here that would lock something, I've done it. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Oh my god, wow. There is nothing to wow about here. Exploration progress still needs some work, for example, so I'm definitely... Thanks for spoiling? Oh no. I'm sorry. But as you can see, I still have a lot to do in terms of exploration progress, especially in the new nations. There's still quite a few percentages missing. Over here too, in parts of the desert, and this over here. Still mad about Inazuma? Yeah, that's fair. Meanwhile, me with 100% exploration progress in all of Inazuma, I have no reason to come back to Inazuma. You still can't get there. And that is a tragedy. But yeah, hopefully you'll be able to get there soon-ish. What part of the main story are you in yet? You are already in Liyue in terms of the story, I think, right? So you're making decent progress towards Inazuma. You addict. Excuse me, I'm not an addict. Again, as you can see, parts of Sumeru are definitely still missing. And basically all of Fontaine still needs work. And of course this new area for Liyue. Photos? Yes, we could do that. Alright, I remember now. I wanted to check how many wishes I have saved up, how many primos. 49, almost 50,000 primos. Almost 50,000 primo gems, plus 11 intertwined fate. And 53 acquaint fate. So once... You know, once I get what I want, once Hu Tao's weapon is back, I can pull. I can do a bunch of pulls. What? I save, okay? I rarely use this stuff. And when I start wishing, I commit. When I start wishing, I commit hardcore. Hey, with my 10. Hey. You use your 10 pulls when you have them, which is totally valid. I get that people might want to use their 10 pulls when they have them. The thing about me is, I like saving up until I get who I want specifically. Why do you think my Zhongli constellation is maxed out at C6? Because for the longest time, I did not pull for any character at all until I got a Zhongli rerun. I did not pull for anyone until Zhongli showed up. That's how I saved this. I am committed. I do not pull until I'm 100% certain. Bunch of show-offs, yeah. How long have you saved? Does anyone remember when the last time was that I pulled? Because I only pull on stream, obviously. Definitely was a long time, was a while ago. Not the same, I don't save up. Yeah, not everyone saves up, I get that. It's been 84 years. Yes. But why saving standard pulls? Because sometimes the standard banner gets expanded. You know? Like, when they added Tainari. Or when they added Dia. Those were added to the standard banner later on. These two. They weren't on the standard banner all along. Speaking of, there's one character on the standard banner who's been on the standard banner since the beginning, who I still don't have. I have every standard character banner. I have every standard banner character. Every single one. Every single character on the standard banner I own, even the ones who were added later on, except for Diluc. Diluc is the one character who I just apparently will not get ever. Nouvelette. Might be Farina who I pulled for last, probably. Very possible. Why not just pull? Maybe one day. Got him today? Yeah, laugh at me. Do it now. Feel free. Laugh all you want. I'll get him eventually. He's on the standard banner. Eventually he has to show up in my polls. Through either me losing a 50-50 or through one of my standard banner polls. Weird looking Emilie? Yeah, right, the weird looking Emilie. That's who I meant.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
This isn't voice acted, I'm pretty sure. Right? Yeah, I was already informed of that.
But where are those who share the memory?
I don't have D-Luke. Ah, so I'm not the only one who still doesn't have him. Great. Working on my battle pass while I'm at it. Yeah, I should be able to max the battle pass out in time again. 18 days should be plenty to get to level 50. So I'm gonna pull like devil. You know exactly when that's gonna be.
Osmanthus
when I do pulls, when I do these massive pulls, you know, when I do these streams of like, I'm gonna do 200 pulls in one stream. Whenever I do that kind of stuff, I also use up my standard banner pulls. Okay? Whenever there's an event character where I'm like, I'm gonna hard commit to this banner, I'm gonna warm up by using the standard banner pulls I have. Gotta eat and sleep? Alright then, let's wrap this up. As I was saying, I'm gonna end it anyway. So feel free to stick around for the little raid real quick. And then you're gonna get some extra channel points, if you want to. If you want to stick around for that, for the extra channel points. Alright, let's see who we're gonna raid. No, as I said, I was gonna wrap up anyway. I was basically done with everything. So yeah, spoiler, max level not even equipped. Yes, I probably should change that at some point. You're absolutely right. Oh, ouch. Impacting the Genshins? Yes, Bones, we were impacting the Genshins. Anyway, so Ow. Okay, fine, I get it. Absolutely, you are such a celebrity here. Again, I appreciate your red from earlier. Standard 5 stars D-Luke. If not, it's Code's fault. Yes, absolutely. Appreciate the pats. Really do. I get channel points for rating. Give channel points for rating. You get them automatically. Anyone who's in the raid will automatically get channel points. I'm not giving them out. That happens automatically to everyone who accompanies the raid. Just like how you automatically earn channel points over time for watching, that is another standard feature. That is just there. Alright. Still learning, which is fair. Again, which is why I'm informing you, so now you know. Alright, let's see who we raid. Viewers must have gotten it too. They most certainly have. Pull on standard another time. Another time I will pull on standard. Zell it is. Because Zell doesn't stream a lot. So when Zell streams, we kind of have to raid. It's almost obligatory that we raid Zell if he actually streams. Alright, quickly set it up and then we're heading on over. Zell Devon, reveal yourself. Start raid. Alright, and again, that is it for this very stream here. Again, thanks to everyone who accompanied me today and everyone who came over from Amy's raid. Appreciate you. If you do want to follow me, feel free. But be warned, I don't stream Genshin on too much of a regular basis. I play it when there's an update. So there's gonna be relatively sizable breaks in between Genshin streams. Try not to get too used to that, but if you do wanna stick around, of course that's appreciated. I usually play other games. If you want rhythm games and visual novels, then you're definitely welcome to stick around. I also made your character. I also have to make the character. True, I remember now. Ow. Anyway, bye everyone. See you around next time, which will be Friday. Till then, have a good one. And of course, if you're watching this after it's been uploaded as a VOD, here's some keys from work. Yeah, see ya. We'll talk about that another time, I think. So yeah. Also, if you're watching this as a VOD, your support has also been greatly appreciated. And if you do want to catch me live in the future, you can do so by checking the description down below. It will take you to my Twitch, where I stream every single Friday and Saturday, and sometimes other days of the week too, even though that's a bit more irregular. In any event, thank you very, very much for watching this, and I will see you around another time as well. Until then, have a good one. Bye bye.